Live from the Keith Vincent Kayla Studios in Paterson, New Jersey, Green Arrow Media proudly presents Is This Real? Tonight, are we being manipulated by the media? Find out. And here's your host, JC3.
Welcome, everybody, to another fantastic episode of Is This Real?
Is this real?
Tonight's episode, as you heard Pope Tony said at the beginning, it is about media manipulation in the world today. Are we being manipulated by media?
Yes.
Thank you, West. As you heard, Mr. West is here. And this season, I've been lacking on the introductions. I will give everybody that.
Yes, you have.
So we have Cito and Big Joe's seat. Big Joe is not here with us tonight.
Hola.
So Cito, say hello. You just did.
Give me
Pope
my
Tony.
recognition.
I'm at the Pope and I'm wearing a shirt. And it
We
say
all are
full-
wearing a shirt.
I'm trying to plug the merchandise. Fall down, go boom.
Fall Down, Go Boom shirt available on our
Spread
shop page. This is also available on our spread shop page. We have Mr. West here. Mr. West is in the building.
Hey, how's it going?
No Japanese tonight?
Fala comigo for my Brazilian women out there.
Okay. Why don't you speak it in Russian? I might get hit for that later. Roadblock, you're here.
Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody?
I'm gonna get hit for that.
You are. You're
Do you not know that I'm sensitive right now?
He's gonna get Muay Thai.
Yeah, as a best friend, I can do that though. Do I not get best friend privileges for sensitive subjects?
No.
Yes, you do. But you know they come with consequences.
Well, I know that. I mean, everyone has consequences.
Consequences have it. Your actions have consequences.
And you know what else has consequences? When we're being manipulated by the media.
Well,
Yeah.
first, our episode is presented by Debbie.
Completely fuck over Josh, huh?
Go to no. I said Roadblock. He said welcome. He said hi, everybody. Did you not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't
And
hear
you're
you.
JC3.
Well, that was said at the beginning. I'm Marquis. Remember that. All right, W Energy Drinks, W.GG. Punch in the code Is This Real PC. Get all your W products for 10% off.
I'm drinking some right now, and I swear to Christ, I want to go in the ocean and fuck a shark. That's how good this
And
stuff
this is why we'll never get any other promotions. Also,
You know
please.
how hard it is to fuck a shark?
Wait. I
It's
think
not
that
Shark Week.
Hold on. I think that would give us
It's
more.
not Shark Week!
I think that
Anywho.
would give us promotions just because of the fact of our dedication, our appreciation, and love towards. the
Dubby
brand.
has severed ties with us. We just haven't known yet.
They haven't emailed us yet. Like,
We didn't get-
Please come back if you have.
can you just stop?
We
I
don't want to
love
be
your
involved.
drinks. Please.
We don't want to be involved. Fuck y'all.
That's right. Made Josh fuck a bear once.
The Cocaine Bear? Is that why they made that movie?
No.
Cocaine Bear. Anywho, so
Anyway.
media manipulation, gentlemen. As we continue, they're coming down to the last two episodes of season 9, gentlemen.
Yes.
This season went by quick.
Yes. If you
Yes,
want to
it
see
did.
what we've talked about, please go to our YouTube page, Green Arrow Media, on YouTube. You could also go to our Patreon page, and please go to our website, greenarrowmedia.org, where you can see all of our episodes right there on the beginning page. Is this real? greenarrowmedia.org. You'd also get our spread shop in the top page, top corner of that page also. So, media manipulation. Thank you, Mr. West, for giving me that back. So, what does media manipulation mean to everybody? I want to start off with that.
One at a time.
One at a time. So, Cito, what does media manipulation mean to you? And I don't want like the Webster dictionary. I know you were the Webster dictionary. I want your interpretation of it.
So, media manipulation to me specifically is using psychological tactics in a way to change a point of view, or even change a point of view outcome, or create a specific desire towards a person and to develop a certain mental state when they see something.
All right. The Pope.
When I see a show that is on any of the news networks, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, doesn't matter. when those news programs come out the gate hot and just start shitting on this idea, whatever idea is going to be the hot button issue in either something about Congress or if it's a new law that's passed or something the president did. The second that person starts ranting and raving, whether it's in favor or against, to me, that's media manipulation. Because the second you stop reporting the news and saying, hey, this thing happened today, these are the facts. When you start interpreting those facts and putting a spin on them, you begin to influence your viewers. And I do believe there's a difference between being influenced and being manipulated. But I think all news at this point has gotten to the point where all those news programs have gotten to the point where it's more heavily based. It's coming from that manipulation part than it is the influence part. That's just the way I see it.
Okay, Mr. West.
Good shit. That was a good definition.
That's right.
Mr. West.
Yeah, we're all smart. All right, everyone, just give a round of applause. Give ourselves a round of applause. Go ahead.
This is
Mr.
why I
West.
need the off button. West.
Um,
How to myself. Mr.
hello.
West.
Hey. So what I would consider media manipulation, no matter where you look at it, from an old monarch traditional point of view or to the new Western way or the new modern way of distributing information, would be controlling things so that you have people not questioning what's happening because it's being told directly to their face, and most people are lazy by nature, where because someone is telling them, they're just gonna want to believe it off rip. So it's, to me, media manipulation would be just persuading people to just stay in a confined state of mind, to not question what's going on outside of their local area, whether it be a town, village, country, whatever. That's what I think media manipulation is.
All right. Roadblock.
I kind of piggyback off of both Cito and Tony, because at this point, media manipulation is just regurgitated on every news outlet whatsoever. There's no original journalism or anything like that. Like, it seems like you can tune into any news station and they'll just regurgitate the same exact thing. There's tons of footage about it where they literally repeat the same actual report, maybe a slightly different word or two, but they all report the same thing. I think they're just spitting out whatever it is across any news station and just telling you this is it. And it's simply not so much even influencing, it's shoving it in your face. This is our version. That's it. There's no facts whatsoever. There's no double checking or
You just remind me, did you guys ever see the video where it's like News Channel 4 or whatever, it's some local news anchor broadcast, and they're like, we here at the station want to remind you that blah blah blah, and then like
It just starts splitting across
it
different
starts
news
splitting.
stations.
It's like,
Yeah, I
and
saw
this
that.
station does it, and it's like
Yeah.
word for fucking word.
yeah.
It was
All
on,
of
it was
these
on Rogan's
stations.
podcast. I've
Yeah,
never seen
yeah,
it.
it was on Rogan's podcast. He pointed out, it's like, that to me is, you want to sit there and tell me that, oh yeah, no, these are independent. No, they're not. There's no way these are independent. And because they're not independent, and it certainly seems that they're not independent, to me, that's manipulation.
Yeah,
Well, and
it's-
on a mass scale.
On a very
on a
mass
very
scale.
massive scale through all news networks and everything like that. They repeat the same exact thing. There may be differences on networks. Like, I said this one time, a really long time ago. There was a guy on Fox saying something about a hot topic, and I just called him a pretentious C word. I'm not going to get that graphic.
You called him a cunt?
Okay, this one actually says it. Yeah,
This podcast is rated R, and you know that.
yeah, I
At
was
this
trying
point,
to be
sometimes it's NC-17.
I was trying to be a little bit PG, okay? Just
Oh
for
man,
the
I
sake.
should. I'm sorry. Like, you called him cancerous?
Yeah, that would have been passable.
You ever just go back and just bleep that out? Just
You call him
Yeah.
a Care Bear?
a Care Bear.
pretentious
Can we
they
just
are.
voice over just Care Bear?
Care Bear.
I don't know. I'd have to practice that one.
That's like the words are off, but it's just
Yeah.
like a different thing.
It's just we pause the video. Care
Godzilla
Bear.
1945. We're not doing that.
But yeah, to me, it's just trying to get the public to see something and not actually giving facts anymore, not giving the actual information in any sense whatsoever.
All right. I think for me, I'm gonna take it a step further than everybody. I don't think it just goes with news organizations or anything like that. It also goes into companies and company feeding into this one idea agenda, this mass agenda that everybody's supposed to believe in, and you're going to try to manipulate somebody or the mass public into doing it.
Well,
Yes.
finish.
So like, to me, like, if we're gonna sit here, and especially it goes with the dominating ideal of what whoever is controlling us, as far as if you believe people are controlling us, goes into that idea, and they want people to believe that certain way. And I think the next, and I'll be honest, this episode and the next episode kind of go hand in hand with each other. Next
Sure.
week we're talking about satanic panic, and if you want to believe in the whole idea that Satanism is running amok throughout the entire country, throughout the entire world,
Yeah.
some things go into that. But again, I'm not going to go into the satanic aspect of it. But it's more of to me, it does go in the news organizations. It does go into companies in general. It's one of these things where they're going to force it upon someone, come hell or high water. And I
Well-
think that goes into manipulation.
Well, it's because the silence, if you don't say something, to a lot of people is just as guilty or triggering than if you were to just voice your opinion, yes or no. Like if okay, I'm thinking of like right now. I'm thinking like, remember a time when companies just advertised their shit and didn't have to run a campaign for some marginalized group. You know what I mean? It's like none of
Back
the
when
thing-
commercials used to be good and they were like
not just that,
raunchy.
but it's like, okay, I don't have any problem with any company endorsing any sort of group of people and saying, look, we stand behind this people, right? At the same token, though, if your company doesn't say anything at all, you could be looked at as like, why aren't you saying anything? What are you trying to hide? Do you
Okay.
not agree with it?
Okay,
Should these marginalized people be put down?
but my question for you is, at that point,
And I'm like, well, hold on, let me get to
Okay.
where I'm going. Like, so I'm like, the danger is like you either have to say something and it better be in the right light, or you're gonna say something and it's negative and you're gonna try to spin it in a way where you're trying to save face.
Well-
Because if you don't say anything at all, they're gonna immediately associate as you feel the negative.
all right, West.
That goes into what Jordan B. Peterson was talking about when he was being interviewed by a woman about a very controversial subject, where if you're not offensive, then you're not put in a position to think about what you're doing, and it's gonna bring up conversation. It's gonna bring up the conversation.
I know that
regardless.
conversation that you're talking about. What
Well,
they
not
were
in
talking
not,
about.
we're not in that.
Yeah. No,
but
I know
just
that.
in general, like what like if a company does say something and it may come off as controversial,
Yeah.
then it's okay, because why is it that if you can get offended by something, why isn't that these people aren't allowed to have an opinion on something in order to start a conversation so that we can meet on a common ground?
I agree and disagree at certain aspects of that, because my whole thing is like, you don't the pressure by people, and it's not all people. There's a certain group in this country and in the world that, now, I'm not saying what group it is, but there's a certain section of people that put pressure on companies that you have to say something. You have to say something. They don't have to
hold
say
on.
anything.
It's lobbyists. That's the group you're talking.
Yeah.
But it's lobbyists for whatever cause they're trying
They
to champion.
don't have to say anything. That's the thing.
Right.
They don't have to say anything at all. You could sit there and the mass general public will not sit there and say, well, they didn't say anything on the LGBTQ. Oh, that must mean they're against it. The mass
Company
public
didn't say anything about guns. They must
Yeah,
love guns.
the mass, but it's not even, it's if you don't say anything against guns, then it's a problem. If you say anything
in
if you say
favor?
something for guns or you don't say anything all, that's the problem.
It depends on who you're looking. Like, okay, what was it? I think it was Abercrombie and Fitch a couple years ago. The CEO was like, "We don't want ugly people shopping here." Now, not that ugly people are a marginalized group, because we don't meet under the bridge.
Are you the
every
CEO,
Thursday.
Wes?
Whoa! Wait a second.
I'm the one here saying that we meet under the bridges on Thursdays. And
Whoa.
you're saying that he's the president?
No.
Whoa,
Are you
whoa.
the CEO of Abercrombie and Finch? Because that sounds like something you say.
Whoa.
No ugly people shop here.
Well, wait a minute. Just because we got a lot of cows on TikTok coming in, that doesn't mean
Hey,
that doesn't mean I don't want people shopping for my product, bro.
Yeah,
That's
if you're
still-
ugly, we still want
I
your money.
still want you buying
money's
this shit.
green.
I love it.
That's right. You can buy
Hey,
it.
PSA, we love everyone.
That's
Please
right, you
continue
can buy
listening.
I don't.
Anywho, no, I get what you mean. But what I'm saying is that when you get to the
I
point
love
where
you all.
it's
You're all perfect in your own way.
when it when it gets to the point, like, okay, so take for instance the last two things that the media has been telling you it's a bad thing, especially
Which one?
mass media, the trans person on the Budweiser containers,
Right.
and then the Target one.
Okay, before Target, the Budweiser thing, can we just put one thing into context? Because I think this is important. I didn't know this at the time. The Budweiser cans were given to that trans person. That was the only set that was ever made for that trans person. It was a gift from Bud Light to that person because that person was drinking the beer. As far as I know, there was no plans to roll out and mass produce these cans and sell them nationally. This was a gift, like, for saying thank you for sponsoring our product.
There was a plan to do that, and that was coming
I would
from
have to-
the head of the marketing department at the time. She's not the head anymore
She's not the head anymore.
because
the
she was
shoulders.
fired because they lost money.
Interesting.
Because they were trying to market this, and whether when we're not saying we're for or against here, I don't care if you want to be a fucking fish. I don't give a shit. That's just my personal opinion. It's just the way you sit there and market it, and it's the way you're sitting there. You have to say you have to accept it. Nobody has to accept anything, and that's what I think the problem in the world is. We're
consumerism,
consumerism that if we're gonna try and force people to accept, but just any ideal that you have. People don't have to accept it.
no, I understand, but the problem is there are people who won't accept it, but they just won't look at that and go, nah, it's not my thing, and move on. They want to turn around and set that thing on fire because they are against it.
No, I understand that, but
And you can't do that either.
That goes on a lot of sides, though.
You know what I mean? It's like Kid
literally
Rock bought a bunch of Bud Light and started shooting it up in his backyard. I'm like, why?
the difference, and
Just don't buy the fucking beer.
The difference, and people didn't do that. People didn't buy the beer.
I know some people did, but then you had assholes like Kid Rock who's like, no, I'm going to put money in Bud Light's pocket just so I can make a point and put a bunch of bullets in these cans.
No, I understand that. What
Why?
I'm saying is, in that specific case, as far as Budweiser and the Target thing, which we'll get to the Target thing next, is that people didn't buy it and they lost money.
Sure.
People were talking with their
Wallet.
instead of crying about it.
Instead of doing Twitter fingers.
Yeah, and that's what I think. And if
I
you
mean-
want to talk right or left here, like if we really want to get down to the nitty gritty, or right or left here, the left does do that. Like the left,
You have to accept me.
yeah, you have
Yes,
to
they do.
accept me. You have to do this, and if you don't, then you get canceled.
Right. It's
And they don't talk with their wallet. They sit there and they talk just with Twitter fingers.
well, not just that. They talk from.
Tell me a company that has lost money.
No, I'm not. No, they talk from the perspective of, well, why not? It's that challenge of like, well, you have to accept me. It's like, well, I don't accept you. It's like, well, why not? That automatically makes you a bad person. It's like, hold on, it doesn't make me a bad person.
Question: companies that lost money for what?
For companies that lost money because they I can't come up with it. I know there's been companies
Like controversial
campaigns that were not so left campaigns.
Oh, I'll tell you one. I think this one might count. Chick-fil-A.
Oh, with their Christian campaign,
Chick-fil-A,
or
does
they're not open on Sundays.
They're not open on Sundays, and as far as I know, I think the CEO says some disparaging things about the Alphabet Gang. So
He
Did
did.
they
Yes, I
lose-
remember that.
Did they lose a lot of money, or
I mean, they're opening Chick-fil-A's left
you
and
know what I
fucking
mean?
right.
'Cause
You know what I'm
it-
saying? Like,
yeah, because it's like, or is there
Which
people out there?
Chick-fil-A though?
It was 9B, by the way, not M's.
$9 billion for Target. Holy shit!
Wow. Yeah, is it like?
Wait,
like,
did you ask what's Chick-fil-A?
or was the Alphabet
it's
Gang?
Chick-fil-A. Who's gonna be mad?
Well, yeah. Well, hold on a second.
People got
You're-
mad. I mean,
Like,
if you
did
say
they lose money, or even the Alphabet Gang was like, I don't like what you said, but this chicken is fire. You know what I mean? Like, where was?
well, no, there was a controversial thing for it. Like,
I remember that,
just
but like,
but that's
did
what I'm
they
saying.
lose?
Take how many people, especially when it comes to actors. Like
Yeah.
actors are a different thing. Actors have been canceled before because of their right-wing ideas, not right-wing, but like their non-left-wing ideas. You know,
I mean,
there's been
there's a
been-
difference.
But
actors are
it
more.
goes. Hold on, before
Yeah.
it does go both ways.
yeah.
No,
You
it
can't
does.
just-
No, I'm
like
what I'm
I know
saying
you're
is-
saying it as left wing, but like, remember it. Like, if you're gonna say one wing, just
But what? Tell me what actor has been canceled for their ideas about pro pro-abortion? No
I don't
actor
know,
has
I
been
haven't-
canceled.
I don't have my thing. It just
There,
I haven't been looking up.
I know
Yeah.
there's been Chris Pratt. Let's just take Chris Pratt for example. We all know who Chris Pratt is,
Yes.
all right? He's made
Isn't that
Really-
the guy from what's it
Guardians of
called?
the Galaxy. He plays Star-Lord. He gets heckled for just being a Christian. Literally gets heckled for just being a Christian. And does he wear?
Oh yeah. What's it called?
uh,
Didn't he do like the Oscar or something like that where he won and he was just like,
Yeah,
oh,
thank God and stuff like that.
thank
And
God,
people
yeah.
are like, "Oh, why does he have to bring religion in?" People are still trying to cancel him to this day just because of his religion.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but when he's like, when you're speaking, the way you say it sounds like you're specifically targeting just the leftist, and I'm letting you know that the way you are speaking.
You're
is-
talking about me specifically.
Yeah, you specifically. The way you're speaking right now is like, yes, the leftist.
Well, no,
right?
I was getting to the point with the right wing. They're doing that to the Budweiser commercials and the Target.
No, I was. It's more of just that, like, hey, it sounds like you're being a little targety towards one group.
I actually brought up. I actually have a list of 12 victims.
Speak up a little bit.
I actually have a list of 12 victims of cancel culture who were targeted for voicing a conservative view. One is John Gibson. He was the former president of American gaming studio Tripwire Interactive.
Did they lose money?
He lost his job for tweeting in support of Texas' new pro-life legislation. Then 3 days later, Gibson was canceled. Nathan Sylvester was a police officer working in Belleville, Idaho, who was fired after he posted a TikTok mocking star LeBron James for his statements following the death of Micaiah Bryant. It's a little fucked up.
I don't think that's specifically political though.
Scott
Well, I think Micaiah
Cawthorn-
Bryant was a person who was murdered
Heard
by
a gunshot?
cops.
Yeah,
heard that gunshot.
I know, I understand
Yeah.
that part, but I think it's more like you're mocking the death of someone.
He was mocking LeBron James for his comments of
Yeah,
that.
but you get the point. But it's like mocking basically the death as he was commenting on it. I don't think that's as political as. I can see where it's coming from politically, but like that's also just a fucked up thing to do.
There was a guy named David Flynn, who was the popular head coach at. Well, these are just local. These are just
Yeah,
local people right now
it's-
at this point.
It's not really like you're not gonna have.
Uh,
You're gonna what I'm saying, especially when it comes to the media and the United States alone.
Mhm.
There is the majority of media.
Here's one. Gina Carano.
Gina Carano.
Carino was fired for her lead role on Disney and Lucas'
The
film The
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian after the actress portrayed a story on her Instagram comparing the current political climate to Nazi Germany.
Yeah. So, but my thing when you talk about media manipulation, especially when it comes to news organizations or anything like that, 90% of the time, at least for right now,
Mhm.
it's left-wing agenda that gets trying to shove down people's throats.
Well, I think the reason you're saying that is mostly because it's the things that are pointed out. But even then, if we look at media manipulation, everyone here has been talking about it in a more malicious intent. But it goes down to a less malicious intent and it's actually harmful or harmless, so to say. Like, media can be manipulated in ways that is just like,
Oh no, I agree with you.
Like,
it's
not just
trying to
like-
buy my product. You know,
hey, buy my
Wes
product.
is very good looking. He might wear an Is This Real shirt. You might look like West if you're wearing his Israel shirt.
You can't
That's
look like
that's media
Yeah, actually,
manipulation. You know,
it
it's
goes a
something
little
like that.
deeper. Like it goes into the psychology, which, as of now, we've just been talking about the media part of it, but
Yeah.
the psychology behind it. Like, let's just go with the simple stuff to the more complex stuff of media manipulation. Like, hey, buy my shirt. Like, studies have been done that, for example, a young African American male might be more, I guess you could say, might attract more attention to the same people, the same race, or if you're getting like someone who is gay, which could translate into how companies are using marginalized groups and using them and working with them. But it's like, for example, someone who is trans is just like identifying one's own self with the person who's modeling it. It goes very simple.
Yeah, no, I
Even
agree.
in logos, that's tech. If you want to look at it, logos are even media. The things we see every day. Like,
Propaganda.
yeah, media
Right.
is propaganda.
Well, the manipulation
more
is
governmental
okay.
stuff.
So we're getting a little deep with this. I do want to get to a break real quick, but
Yeah.
I will go with the technical definition. Media manipulation that I have here is a series of related techniques in which partisans create an image or argument that favors their particular interests. Such tactics may include the use of logical fallacies, manipulation, outright deception, which is disinformation, rhetorical and propaganda techniques, and often involve the suppression of information or points of view by crowding them out, by inducing other people or groups of people to stop listening to certain arguments, or simply diverting attention elsewhere.
That was like almost spot on to like what you first said.
Yeah.
The only difference is mine. It was I'm covering more of a less basis of like less of the manipulation of like, oh, we want to suppress opinions, and more of we're trying to manipulate you to get our product.
Well-
That's the only thing about mine. I'm trying to cover a larger basis.
We'll get right to that because I do have examples as far as context of media manipulation, more of what we're talking about this. So we'll be right back. Stay with us. Hey everybody, I'm JC3.
And I'm Mr. West.
And this episode is brought to you by Dubby. Made by professionals in the USA, Dubby was formulated to give you focus and energy with no jitters or crash.
No jitters.
Their formula contains vitamins, amino acids, including the patented neurofactor. You know what Dubby doesn't give you?
What's that?
No calories,
No calories.
no sugars,
No sugar.
no fillers,
No fillers.
and no artificial flavors. When the raw ingredients arrive to their FDA-registered and inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP guidelines, they undergo a quarantine while a small sample of each ingredient is taken to test for any impurities, while also being tested to ensure that the ingredients are actually what they are supposed to be and have the proper dosage.
And once the ingredients pass all the tests, then they're cleared to get mixed into the formula. So head on over to dubby.gg and use our offer code IsThisRealPC for 10% off your first order. That's DUBBY.GG and use the code IsThisRealPC for 10% off. They have great flavors such as Galaxy Grenade, Dub Sludge, Passion Joy Tea, Monkey Madness, and Dragonade. My personal favorites.
Dragonade right here. I got Dragonade right here. Delicious.
Drink Dubby.
And be better.
These products are not intended to diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey everybody, we're just letting you know that we have new merch in our store. Go to greenhourmediastore.myspreadshop.com, greenhourmedia.org, or the link in the bio for our first ever logo drop. The cryptid collection is here. Get your favorite cryptids such as Bigfoot, Mothman, Nessie, the Yeti, or the Jersey Devil on t-shirts, hats, or mugs. You can also get all of our podcast logos on various items as well. Remember, that's greenhourmediastore.myspreadshop.com, greenhourmedia.org, or the link in the bio. New episodes of Is This Real drop Sundays at 8. Question everything.
Welcome back, everybody, to our continuation of our media manipulation episode, and our welcome to our Green Hour Media page, and our Buzzsprout page, and our Spotify page, whatever you're listening on. Welcome. Our episode is always brought to you by Dubby. Go to dubby.gg, punch in the code IsThisRealPC, all one word, to get all 10% off of all your Dubby products.
Makes me want to manipulate all entire media.
It gives me the energy to manipulate everybody.
Okay, I mean that's good examples, guys. Good, clap.
Shout
right.
out to Evil.
So we're gonna play a little manipulation.
I'm drinking W right now, and I want to walk into the forest alone and fight God.
This motherfucker wants to be Jacob and wrestle with an angel so bad, bro.
Okay, we're gonna
If that
play.
happens, can I be a prophet?
I think you got a blessing.
I
Okay,
think so.
guys,
I told
guys,
you on the word on
hey,
the mouth of the people.
Hey, fellas, we're trying to talk about media manipulation right now. Let's table the W talk for a minute, okay?
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna play
Bye, W.
know your manipulation context.
Ooh.
Who's
Alright.
gonna be the manipulation mommy?
So we're gonna sit there, manipulation mommy. That's not going on a shirt. God damn you.
Oh,
Can't be
my-
called manipulation daddy. I'm literally studying it.
I think there's a lot of females out there who would be considered manipulation mommies.
Literally,
I lived with one.
ADHD.
Hey!
podcast.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
I respect you.
Let's
No,
say
no,
I'll give
no,
it a
stop
healthy
it.
number.
Hold
Let's say 70% of the
Shut-
women who appear in child court.
You know what, Anthony? I try to
I'm
be
just
civil
butthurt.
sometimes. You just push me over the fucking edge all the time. Shut up. All right.
I don't mean it.
Damn it. So I'm gonna name a context or a way, and you guys are gonna give examples.
Okay.
This is how we're gonna play, right?
Hey.
All right.
I love games.
So the first way of manipulation is activism. Sorry.
Right.
So I'll just give it. Activism is a practice or doctrine that has an emphasis or direct, vigorous action, especially supporting or opposing one side of a controversial matter. I think we all know what activism is.
Right.
Over the last 8 years, a lot of people have tried to be active, right? You have the Black Lives Matter activists. You have the QAnon, wink, on an episode next year. You have Antifa, wink, on an episode on next season. So these are, and let's talk about historical activism. Anthony, do you have anything for historical activism?
There was a lot of that happening in the 30s in Germany. A lot of people were active. You're
Which
you're
one is
getting
his
pissed
mic?
off, but you know I'm right. Cito.
Not wrong.
A
His
lot of
his
people-
mic's off.
No, what do you mean? Turn the mic on. I'm being serious. Like in the 30s, there was before they started like breaking into people's houses and throwing them on boxcars, they were fucking rallies and demonstrations happening in Germany, saying that there needs to be a change because there's a group of people who are keeping the honest, hardworking citizens of Germany poor.
In the historical context, you know he's right.
I was thinking more if you would go with the 60s, civil rights movement, the women's
hippies.
marches,
The
Listen,
hippies.
as much as
the hippies
Okay.
against the war,
As much as you're-
those.
as much as you're 100%
I
right,
have one.
hold on a second. As much as you're 100% right, when you want to sit there and write the book or look at what the book of manipulation and propaganda, now mind you, it's decades, it's eons old. But the man who perfected it had a little ugly mustache in the 40s and the 30s.
You could say his name. Like, we're not on TikTok.
I think it goes back a little farther.
I
Oh,
want
it
to say
definitely
something.
does.
Like, I
the
think
Crusades.
Sure.
That's a good
The
way.
Pope.
That's a
Any
good
type
way
of
of
religion.
activism.
Yes, I'm not saying it isn't, but I'm like, the
Or
most.
not good version of activism.
Sorry,
it's a good example.
We're just gonna try to say we're gonna have to sell a T-shirt with the Pope and Hitler shaking hands. Like, is that what we're trying to do here?
Actually, you too.
No! My point is, when you want to sit there and go media.
I don't support him.
When you want to sit there and go manipulation,
It's a joke.
Hitler's the first guy that comes to mind because he's the world's most evil human that's ever lived. As far as I think that's a pretty popular poll. I think we get 100%. Like, who is the most evil person ever lived? Hitler's always going to be number one.
He's up there.
Unless you're like that one kid on TikTok who believes
Actually, I think it's Pol Pot. Like, shut the fuck up. It's Hitler. I mean,
Stalin
like,
was pretty evil too.
Stalin. They were all fucked
I mean,
up.
if you want to talk it like most evil man in the world.
Whoever lived.
Jeffrey Epstein.
No,
No.
I would say
he's up there.
Yeah,
He's the most
up there.
pedophile.
Genghis
Khan?
Khan could be
Yeah,
up
what's
there.
it-
Genghis Khan, Vladimir the Impaler.
Alexander the Great. If you were being
Alexander-
conquered, then Alex was an asshole.
Alexander, let's not forget Julius Caesar, who literally was the main reason for the size of the Roman Empire.
Sure.
Can even go back to a little far.
We're related to him.
And they slaughtered people.
Yes, a lot of people go a little further. We
What?
can go to Marcus Aurelius.
We'll talk about that later. No, yeah, they all slaughtered people, but I'm thinking like in modern history, today, you want to talk about manipulation, the guy who did that, and he wrote a book, Mein Comfy Couch, Hitler.
He was an artist too.
Exactly. He could write.
Stop trying to humanize the man.
No, see, that's the problem. You don't want to humanize the man. Because then you realize he's just the man. It's weird when you look at a picture of Hitler and you see him smiling, and like.
Are we having this discussion right
No,
now?
no, no, no! I'm
Can we
not
get back?
defending Hitler.
No.
Hi-
But we
hi-
also
What
have,
I'm saying
you
is,
also
though-
have to like I have an understanding of where you're coming from because you have to also take in consideration that you're a human being and you too also have that same capability of going to that
Exactly.
extreme of how
He
did.
was an evil motherfucker. He was a monster, and he deserves every pineapple that's ever been shoved up his ass in hell. But at the same time, he was a human. At one point, he was a child who had just wanted to play outside.
It wouldn't
He
have
had
happened if Deadpool would have popped him in the at the
That's
end
true.
of Deadpool
At
2.
one point in time, he was a kid in his mid-teens who might have had a schoolyard crush. And he was a normal person at one point, and we vilify him because he deserves it. And we don't ever look at him and like, oh, we don't ever think of like teenage Hitler because he's not a bad person in his teens.
Great. That's the next series on on the fucking what you
I'm
call
not
it?
defending Hitler.
Teenage Hitler.
That
Get to know the man.
cocksucker deserves the burn.
Remember, Hitler most likely gotten head.
What?
What?
Yeah.
What?
You just stay in your corner.
I
Okay.
My point
I'm
is,
Speckledorf.
if you want to sit there
If
and
you
be
can
like
smell, you can get
most
head.
evil guys ever,
Probably smoke cigarettes.
Hitler's always at the top, and he deserves that
Okay,
spot. 'cause he's a
we'll go
prick.
to the next one.
Please.
Because, all I'm saying, for at least for activism, you mostly hear with activism, it's being called activism when it's opposing an idea. I rarely hear supporting an idea being
you're
active.
wrong on that. You're wrong on that.
No,
Like,
but
support,
like
gun support, activists for like gun laws and all that who support and against gun laws.
I'm
That's
for guns.
Activism.
activism is a very neutral term. It's
Yeah.
it's what you're doing.
Even-
it's how you're active that determines if it's good or bad.
Even like
even good and bad is even good and bad is
LGBT
subjective.
activists.
Yeah,
okay.
like a protest. In the
Activism is activism. It doesn't matter like how you view it.
exactly. You could
You're
have you could,
supporting something and standing up for that
Right.
ideal.
if you could have people on the street in booths at like street fairs be like, hey, listen, we're trying to raise awareness about this thing. Whether it doesn't matter what the thing is, that's still an example of activism. It's up to you, the person
Okay.
who's
I
walking past
I
that
don't-
booth, to give them the ear or not.
okay for me that I don't consider that, at least for my
All
definition.
right. Well, that is. Activism.
I was thinking more activism goes to more of the
No,
you know,
you're wrong.
marching and with the picket fences and
That's
stuff
still
like
activism, but
that. No, I
you're-
know that. But
It's
what I'm
more
saying,
aggressive.
that's-
Technically, activism goes all the way back to the witch trials of Salem. Like,
True.
If you want to think about it like that,
all right. So the next one is advertising. So advertising in the form of promotion that seeks to persuade a certain audience to purchase a good or service.
Yeah.
So that it is media manipulation, and we talked about some
Yeah.
of the
World
advertising.
War II propaganda.
that
that's
we're talking about advertisement of buying items.
Buy war bonds in the World War II. In
It's
World War II, you had to buy. You bought war bonds. What can you do for your country? Uncle Sam pointing the finger at you.
It's goods and services. It still counts.
My Uncle
Okay.
Sam figured me, and now I'm in the military.
No,
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
touche. That's where you sit there and go off the rails. All right. So the next one is propagandizing.
Oh, no, let's
Okay.
not just going back to what you were saying about consumerism. Like any like you look at any company that's putting out something with that supports LGBTQ. Like they put a rainbow flag variant of that thing out there. That is a product marketed and has an agenda.
I got a good one for
Not
advertisement.
that I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it is what it is.
So, for high-class sports cars and supercars like Lamborghini, Bugatti, they take a different routes in advertisement and media, and that's using their consumers themselves. When was the last time you ever seen a Lamborghini commercial?
Oh, never.
You've never seen one.
It's all
right?
based off of name.
It's all based off a name, and when you see someone driving it, you're gonna be like, "Oh, I want to drive one."
Right.
Oh, what car is that?
Exactly. Or it's
Exactly.
like, oh, who's that actor in there who's driving that thing? You know.
Exactly. It's-
Oh yeah, like when you think of Matthew McConaughey, you think of fucking
Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Yeah, and those same people get pictures taken of their cars, who gets then manipulated into Twitter, Instagram, whatever it may be, and now the media starting to see it.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
All right. So for the next one, we have
Just know that I want a Rolls Royce. To be honest with you.
I mean, there's a fucking McLaren dealership up by my house on 17. I've never seen a McLaren commercial.
propagandizing. Propagandizing is a form of communication that is aired at
Yeah, they billboard.
influencing the attitude of a community towards some cause or position by presenting only one side of the argument.
Read that again.
Propagandizing is a form of communication that is aimed at influencing the attitude of a community towards some cause or position by presenting only one side of the argument.
Yeah, we get those
Or
every time.
AE,
War propaganda.
if you want to talk about Nazis, the Nazi propaganda towards the Jews in the 1930s.
Sure, I mean,
The war
even
propaganda.
modern day parties,
yeah, I'm about
they
to
like
say.
really
Yeah.
like left, right, like they all have their
You-
own style. Of propaganda.
You want to know something absolutely terrifying? This happened last week. So it is now, what's today's date? May 28th? This was the week, this was last week. I forget who announced they were running for president. And by the way, we get propaganda, especially during election year, no matter what the
Yeah, I
election.
was
It's
gonna
always
say-
like,
Our entire history.
exactly. It's
For
like, this is what
presidents.
this guy said. Is that
Yeah.
really what you want in your community?
No, yeah,
You know what I mean?
Every
But what's interesting this year, there was the first completely AI generated
shoot me in the fucking head.
campaign. And I forget who was responsible for it, but they were like, this is the America that you want. Elect this person. But every image of that video was AI generated 100%. Every face in that video walking around or marching was generated. Every shot of a city was generated. There was no actual footage in this. And here's the terrifying part when it comes to AI. There are no laws on the books regulating it. So that right there, using this technology that can actively trick people, is completely legal for the time being. There will be legislation, I'm sure, so eventually someone will
I
bring it up.
have
But that to me is scary. Let me look that up.
I have a
My favorite campaign has to be the guy that like was doing something with guns.
you have to raise your voice, man.
No, that's it. It was just a thought.
Okay. I have this one goes into propaganda and it goes into advertising. It's one, it fits both areas. Has any one of you heard the Daisy Lyndon B. Johnson commercial ad?
Why do
No.
I feel like I've heard of this? Like the name kind of sounds familiar, to be honest with you, but I don't
Also-
think I'm too familiar with.
Sorry, I'll circle back with what.
All right,
I found.
Anthony, have you ever heard of the Daisy Lyndon B. Johnson commercial?
Daisy Lyndon B.
Daisy.
No, I have not.
All right, so the Daisy, sometimes referred to as Daisy Girl or Peace Little Girl, is American political advertisement that aired on television as part of Lyndon B. Johnson's 1964 presidential campaign. Though only aired once, it is considered one of the most important factors in Johnson's landslide victory over the Republican Party's candidate, Barry Goldwater, and a turning point in politics and advertising history. A partnership between the Doyle-Dane
You said Doyle.
Burnback Agency and Tony Schwartz, the Daisy advertisement was designated to broadcast Johnson's anti-war and anti-nuclear positions. Goldwater was against the nuclear test ban treaty and suggested the use of nuclear weapons in the Vietnam War if necessary. The Johnson campaign used the Goldwater speeches to imply he would wage nuclear war. So the commercial begins with the three-year-old standing in the meadow, picking the petals of a daisy as she counts them 1 to 10 incorrectly. After she reaches 9, she pauses, and a booming male voice is heard counting the numbers backwards from 10, in a manner similar to the start of a missile launch countdown.
Yes.
A
I've
zoom
seen
of the video still concentrates on the girl's right eye until her pupil fills the screen, which is then replaced by the flash and sound of a nuclear explosion. A voiceover by Johnson states emphatically, "These are the stakes to make a world in which all God's children can live or to go into darkness. We must either love each other or we must die."
Right, that was against his campaigning thing. Is Barry
Goldwater.
Goldwater?
Yeah.
I have heard about that.
All right,
So, yeah.
Sito?
I have another commercial, more modern. It's something similar.
Don't tell me
Wait.
the Sour Patch Kids.
It's the Sour Patch Kids one. You know which one we're talking about?
No.
No.
The one with the red Sour Patch Kids. You know the whole motto. First they're sour, then they're sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the one where red Sour Patch Kids are basically representing Hitler and the Nazi Germany.
Yeah, I saw
And then
that.
when it comes to the sweet part, all the red ones are now scientists working on UFOs in the U.S. government.
Operation Paperclip.
I did not see that fucking commercial.
I don't think it's real though. I think it
No,
was.
it's a real commercial.
Is
It's,
it-
it
was
was only
it's
on for one
It's
day.
a real commercial, but only technically aired once.
Once.
It aired
Okay.
once. It
but
aired
people
once, and
still
if you,
have that footage.
Saw it. Okay, yeah, I get it.
I remember seeing.
So
that.
so let me give you a little.
I swear I remember
f-
seeing.
I
that,
found
bro. That
it,
shit
so-
was wild. It was the wildest commercial I've ever seen in my life.
So I found what I was talking about with the AI thing.
Mm-hmm.
After Biden officially announced that he would seek After Biden officially announced that he would seek re-election in 2024, the Republican National Committee put down a 30-second advertisement. In this advertisement, I'll let you finish.
No, go on.
No, because you're gonna need to hear this.
I
He is Speckeldorf.
He is Speckledorf.
Speckledorf, flabbergasted.
So the good, I mean, they're right there using
Like-
that imagery, but they're not running for re-election.
The
It
fact-
sticks in
listen,
your head though. Like,
listen,
so-
the fact that made it past the first draft and it actually and it actually aired
Holy
is
shit.
insane,
Yeah.
bro. It's insane.
So with the AI commercial I mentioned before, President Biden announced that he would be running in 2024. The Republican National Committee released a 30-second advertisement. It was uploaded to YouTube. In it was a dystopian United States after the re-election. It showed images of migrants flooding across the border, a city on lockdown with soldiers in the streets, and Chinese jets bombing Taiwan. None of these images in this commercial were real at all. So they're basically saying if you want to elect Joe Biden, then prepare for mass migration at the border, people flooding it, cities on lockdown, and Chinese bombing Taiwan. And the thing is, because it's
I mean,
AI,
2 out of 3 ain't bad, but
stop it. Because of its AI, some people cannot tell the difference and think that this is the actual video.
well, that's
from
the
somewhere.
problem with AI, because the AI is starting to get more realistic than fucking CGI is,
I know, it's amazing.
and it's terrifying.
It is terrifying, but I also find it amazing.
Have
For
you
my
seen some
own
of these
ben- my own
big-budget
reasons.
movies with terrible CGI. Like I think it's pretty impressive.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like that's like something that I can create myself
But
on my hold on my computer. If I just punch into a generator,
yeah.
I could sit there and make something that looks 10 times better than what fucking Disney's doing
Mhm.
with any Marvel movie.
Mhm.
That's terrifying to me.
That's fine, but
That's
but
fire.
going back to your point of manipulation, this is a form of manipulation that we have not seen before.
No,
like
I
the
know
Daisy
that.
Girl thing, which was like vote for me or else my opponent's gonna nuke the world, is pretty. It's a very staunch thing to say.
Well, again, for 1964, it
Correct.
is, you know.
But for something like this in 2023, it's like, go on, vote for Biden. America's gonna be nuked. It's like that's really fucking dark,
Well, yeah.
and there's
but-
no guarantee that that's gonna happen.
Well, no, I mean, there's no guarantee of any politician what the fuck they say is going to happen.
Well,
It's
that's the
more
thing
of a
that no one said. But that's the thing. They're not saying like Joe Biden wants to do this, and this is why he's a bad president. We disagree. It's literally like, go on, elect him as president for 46. You'll be locked out in your homes. China will invade Taiwan. Russia will be able to do whatever the fuck they want. Cities will be on lockdown, but the people will be right across the border. They'll be able to do what you want. You'll lose your country if you're an American
No, I
citizen
get that.
if you elect him. But they're not saying. They're showing like this AI example.
Yeah, I know. It's
which
a-
is
it
completely
is a
false.
It's a well, that's what AI is. It's false. It's
right,
it's
but
something-
it's so realistic now that people can't tell the difference. That's the scary part. That's what I'm saying. That's manipulation, in my opinion.
I mean, it would be if it would be the same thing if they turned around and just did like a movie
Well,
shot the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the
Like-
other part. They never disclose somewhere on the video. Usually you'll see it's like images created using technology, whatever. Like when they do with a PlayStation game, it's like, it's captured in gameplay mode or it's trailer mode, whatever. They didn't do that. It was just straight footage. It never appeared on the screen that these images are not real and that these are completely generated, AI generated imagery. To me, that's misleading. That's manipulation because you're not being clear with the people and saying this is not real. This is what we think could happen, and we're using this AI technology to show you what could be.
Oh, I get it. You know, again, it's used every day to mislead people.
Sure.
All right.
That's. I mean, now it's invading politics in a way that has never happened before.
No, I know that. Well, we didn't have AI technology the way we have
Exactly.
it now.
So now we got to just. I guarantee you, someone's going to eventually step up and say, "We need legislation on the books to like if you're going to
AI in general.
Yeah, for AI. If you're going to use AI imagery, you have to disclose that it's an
Alright.
AI generated image.
So
I guarantee it's going to happen.
I have
eventually.
2 more. Okay. So the next one is psychological warfare.
Ooh, my favorite.
So, psychological warfare is sometimes considered synonymous with propaganda. The principal distinction between that propaganda normally occurs within a nation, whereas psychological warfare normally takes place between nations, often during war or Cold War. Various techniques are used to influence a target's values, beliefs, emotions, motives, reasoning, or behavior.
It also
Tar-
works great in relationships.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's the number one kind of warfare used by single moms with kids named Aiden.
Did you just shut this motherfucker?
Don't just keep going.
And just so you know,
That's
he
why it went
is.
over my head.
Just so you know, he
yes, it
is her
did. Just
world.
keep going.
I fucking hate you sometimes.
Just keep going.
Okay. The tactic has been used in the multiple wars throughout history. During World War II, the Western Allies expected for the Soviet Union would drop leaflets on the U.S. and England. During the war in Iraq, America and English forces dropped leaflets. What the fuck's a leaflet?
Little papers.
Little
it's like
pieces
little
of-
posters
little
saying.
pieces
Yeah,
of paper.
Oh,
yeah
okay.
literally it was like.
You know,
With
like
many
if
of-
an airplane flies over a town or something, and little pieces of paper fly over and
Okay.
stuff like that.
You ever seen
Those
the
are leaflets.
clips where there's blimps and they just drop random
Leaflets and shit,
Yeah.
pamphlets.
I haven't. to be
tons of
honest,
paper
but-
like-
or money? In
with
some
many
cases?
leaflets telling the people how to surrender. In the
Yeah.
Korean War, both sides would use loudspeakers from the front lines. In 2009, people in Israel in the Gaza war received text messages on their cell phones threatening them with rocket attacks. The Palestinian people were getting phone calls and leaflets warning them that they were going to drop rockets on
They
them.
were sending text messages.
Mhm.
I would have responded back with like "LOL."
These phones,
LOL, try me.
These phone calls and leaflets were not always accurate.
No shit.
LOL, you won't.
Smiley face emoji. Smiley face emoji. Smiley face.
One of the things
balls.
like, we're gonna drop a bomb on your city.
No balls.
Lol, you won't.
Do it.
Do it, no balls.
About time.
Hold on, ready? Be a man.
Hashtag do it, pussy.
We do not advocate the Israeli people fucking up the Palestinians. By the
I
way.
mean, we don't advocate anybody fucking up anybody, so let's just put it like that.
yeah.
I do have, I'm not sure how true is this, but I did hear this fact once that during World War II, planes were flying over German soldiers, dropping normal sized condoms, right? Like, but
We know you can't fit in these.
so it was like they grabbed all the largest sizes of condoms, dropped them over enemy lines, and said this was a small.
Yeah, they did that. They dropped large.
So they
condoms.
basically that was their most expensive way to show them how big my dick is.
They demoralized those German people so bad.
Yes, they did.
All right. So in the last
That's
technique,
actually hilarious.
the last technique I have is public relations. PR is the management of the flow of information between an individual or an organization and the public. Public relations may include an organization or individual gaining exposure to their audiences
PR
using
means?
Yeah.
topics
relations.
of public interest and news items that do not require direct payment. PR is generally created by specialized individuals or firms at the behest of already public individuals or organizations as a way of managing their public profile.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's the whole point is to sit there and go, look at my company. Isn't it great?
yeah, when if you get a celebrity to sit there, like if is this real?
Is this real? Got Zendaya.
Got LeBron James to say I listen to Is This Real?
That'd be fire.
We would have to go through his public relations manager.
Yes.
That'd be
And
pretty
we-
fire.
And we would have to have a public relations person here to do that work.
Yeah, and we would have to have public relations money.
That's true. We need public relations money.
You know, so
You
But
got
yeah, that
PR
goes back-
money.
His is
Yeah.
real, supported by the one crackhead
Here's
down
a
the
question I
street.
have for everyone here.
I would love Kanye West to be like, I listen to Is This Real?
Oh, dear God. That's.
I'd cry, bro. I'd be like, really?
We, as a podcast, do we fall into any of these categories?
All of them.
Bye, dummy.
Yes. That's it. That's all you got to answer. Yes.
I mean, we at least have the courtesy to, at the end of every episode to sit there and say, do your own research, don't listen to us.
Well, look, okay, so
Just understand something. We're a bunch of idiots, but we're smart idiots. You get what I'm saying?
we're on the spectrum.
They're a bunch of
Schmidiots.
idiots.
You're picking up what I'm putting down here? Don't listen to us, but
I'm picking
we're
up
right.
what you're putting down.
Okay, so perfect example for this is like I want to do a video, which I'm going to do. And I was telling this to Sita before. He actually brought up the Jeffrey Epstein news Twitter,
okay.
and I'm gonna do a video basically saying like I did the research on it, and I'm like they don't really have facts based on what they're saying. This is more of like
Sure.
this person is here, this person is there. Like I didn't see anything that they're saying. Here are our sources. They didn't source any of their material.
Good.
And what I always say to people is you have to sit there and you have to do your research before you sit there and react. And I think that's more of a thing that we're trying to do as a podcast is I always say this, and we always say this on every video. Don't take what I have to say. Do your own research on it.
Sure.
You can listen, get some information, but you don't have to believe what I say. You don't have to believe what any of us say. Do your own research on it and be well informed before you start talking about it.
Right. There's been many times that you and I have tackled an issue on TikTok that's more topical. Like I wind up doing stuff about space and stuff that's fact-based.
Yeah.
Because it is fact-based, you fucking smooth-brained flat earther and idiots.
I love that insult. By the
Anyway.
way.
Yeah,
thank you.
smooth brained is brilliant. I think
Yes.
I'm literally going to make a t-shirt
that
for
is
that.
Great. You
Okay.
smooth-brained motherfucker.
I think it's
So-
gonna just be a pink ball and it says smooth brained.
So like stuff like that, that's what I tend to do. You wind up doing more of the stuff that's more in the news and shit, but we always, when we do those videos, we do try to always say that like, hey, this is what we know as of right now. If you can educate us any further,
Exactly.
or you know of a something else that we're not hitting, or if we're wrong in some way, let us know.
Yeah.
You
Because
know,
we're always open to educate ourselves even more also.
I want to know all about this topic so I can be right in every conversation.
And at that point, and then we try to, plug our podcast and plug our products. So that's always the thing. By
Go
the
to
way,
Patreon, buy shirts, drink chubby.
exactly. Like, so I think
Please.
we do fit, but
By my OnlyFans.
whoa!
Wait, you left fucking social media but just started an OnlyFans?
You know how things go.
That's true. It's been tough for you, West.
The only thing I don't think we do, I don't think we sit there and
It's hard
or
in
we,
the streets.
we don't fall under psychological warfare.
You don't know that.
First of all, to our audience, I'm not talking about personal relationships, West.
Maybe.
Oh.
Maybe. I know I've said some things that might come off as psychological warfare.
All right.
Definitely things I've said. People, not it's just psycho,
It is. It,
just psycho.
no, there's a little warfare in there.
Do we need psychological warfare in this show?
My question is, how do we fit under activism?
We
We post about shit on TikTok.
Well, we're not pro or against
Dad
it.
is
We're
pretty
against-
active on certain topics.
Yeah.
no,
I mean,
no. The podcast in itself, we're not leaning one way or another. We're not saying we believe in this particular item.
We try not to. I mean, let's face
individually we
it.
have.
We're
our own
only
things.
human, and typically the person making the video or
Oh,
someone.
I forgot one. I'm sorry.
We kind of
Hoaxing.
lean. Huh?
Hoaxing. A hoax is something to deceive or defraud, misleading public stunts, scientific frauds, false bomb threats, and business scams are examples of hoaxes.
Like
Okay, so we-
9/11.
Okay, so we do all of that, but we do all but that.
Yeah, we don't hoax people.
Yeah, we don't hoax people. We don't hoax people.
I don't.
That's one thing we can say. Like, I'm an idiot, and I'll be honest with you, 100% of the time. I don't lie to anybody, but I am a moron, so I could come off wrong. But I could have been right, which still technically makes me right. Josh.
Yeah, I was gonna say you better give me credit, motherfucker.
Do
But
we need
there-
more
there's-
psychological warfare?
calm down, Cito.
We could use some
Calm
more.
down.
Everyone could use a little psychological.
I think we
warfare.
have enough
I
with.
can use some new tactics in my.
I think we have enough of Mr. Toxicity over here.
Yeah, I mean, he's on the dating scene again. He needs all he can get to prevent himself because bitches be crazy.
I'm sensitive.
I don't think we can say that.
Hey,
did.
take my learnings.
I'm sorry. Let me clarify. I consider the word bitches gender neutral.
Me too.
Men are bitches too. But you're dating female bitches.
Correct.
Okay, there we go.
I don't want to do this podcast anymore.
Is it wrong that the only thing that just ran through my head is hashtag bitches love cannons?
I just want everyone to know, like, we're talking all about propaganda and shit. We're not gonna get a fucking sponsor for the rest of our lives.
Literally.
Wait, did you go over the Target shit while I was gone?
No, I mean,
No.
not
We
really.
never,
No,
we never
'cause
spoke
we-
about Target.
I
Yeah.
think we should speak about Target.
Okay.
They lost $9 billion in a week.
All right, hold on. Let's
Take a break.
take a break, and then we'll come back with the Target conversation in the episode. All right. Stop jerking off. We will be right back.
Hello, this is JC3 speaking. If you want to know more about Is This Real podcast and our parent company Green Hour Media, then visit greenhourmedia.org. You can find and follow all of our social media pages through our website. If you love our content, then you can support us by subscribing to our YouTube channel and our Patreon page. Remember, that is greenhourmedia.org.
If you liked this video today, please click the like and subscribe button and make sure to hit the notification icon to keep up with all our videos.
And welcome back to our episode about media manipulation. As always, our episode is provided by Dubby, sponsored by Dubby. Go to dubby.gg, punch the code IsThisRealPC, all one word, to get all your Dubby products. And then please also go to our Green Arrow Media spread shop page, where you get shirts like the one I have on right here, the Is This Real shirt. You can get mugs, you can get Anthony's Fall Down Go Boom, and all your Green Arrow Media merch.
And don't forget to go over to patreon.com,
Yes,
Patreon,
go
Green
to our
Arrow Media,
Patreon.
where you get behind the scenes content. You get our Patreon exclusive podcast, Is This Real True Crime?
And a lot more coming.
And we have a lot more shit
We are
coming
going
down
to
the pipe.
be, in the next week or so, dropping a Patreon schedule on our website. And that will be a thing where you could sit there and know exactly when your favorite Patreon show will drop and when.
Yep. Next time someone says, hey, do you listen to Is This Real? Just look at them dead in the eye and go, does Pinocchio have a pine sol pecker? Let's fucking go. The answer is yes.
What did he just say?
Let's move it.
I'm tired of him talking.
Anyways,
I
All
fucked
right,
it up.
so before, yes, you did.
Should
Before,
be, does Pinocchio's pecker smell like pine sol? That's what it should.
okay, before we go, talking about the ending episode and stuff like that. So we talked about Target at the beginning of the show, and we were talking about Target and Budweiser at the same time. So Target at one point was over the last 2 weeks, I think it was, or 3 weeks, because June is Pride Month. They were selling children's clothes with Pride stuff on it.
Mhm.
So Target has lost $10 billion
whew,
in market valuation over the last 10 days as the popular retailer continues to face backlash over its Pride-themed clothing line for children. A week ago Wednesday, Target enjoyed its stock at $161 a share, but following the calls to boycott the Minneapolis-based retailer over its Pride collection, the value plummeted and closed Friday at $138 a share. That's a 14% drop in value. Motherfucker's gonna be the owner of Target one day.
What? I'm looking at it.
what is it looking at right now?
So, basically, and
138.
what they're what
0.9.
like, okay, so they targeted, not targeted. I hate using the word targeted because that feels very. What's the word I'm trying to say?
Malicious.
It does feel malicious.
That's a big drop.
It also depends on which side of the subject you fall under.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
Parents feel like they targeted children with LGBTQ stuff, and people will be like they're not targeting. It's such a
See, it could be a hit or miss depending on how you look at it. Because if you go back up to the top picture,
this one.
no, up. No, down. Sorry, the baby one.
Mm-hmm.
I can kind of see how people may interpret that, but it's like it's just a message. It's nothing. To me, I look at that and I don't see anything bad.
I can't
I
see
feel
the
like-
image, so I can't.
Well, okay,
No,
so
no, I
it's
know.
okay. So
I'm looking for something that's
the
really
image-
outrageous. The
Ow.
following one I think is like Satan respects pronouns. It's a picture of a goat.
No, this
But I don't
one,
know if
this
that's what we're
it's a
talking
it's a baby. Now again, it is a pride line because June is Pride Month.
Yes.
Sure.
So all these across any company, they're gonna be
I'm just gonna go over there and see the image.
okay. Well,
I
I'm
can
also
describe it.
I'm
It's
also-
a
yeah, I'm gonna-
baby onesie that
And
just says "Just be you"
and feel the love.
and feel the love. Like there's the fuck.
What
Sorry,
are you
it's a
doing to
tape-
my what?
The table fell. It's fine.
And there's also a bib, and it says, "I am proud. Be you always."
Okay, my question is, I
for
heard
that, I'm like, it's just a message on a baby.
And then you
shirt.
have a kid's T-shirt, and it says, "Trans people will always exist."
See, that I don't see anything wrong with. It's just simply making a statement. It's not saying
Statement is fine, but to me, not that I see a problem
Here-
with it.
I'll-
What I'm saying is that you sit there and say you could have a statement all you want. It's the fact that it's on children's clothing.
Here's
I
the
think.
queer-
that's
here's the
thing.
reason
yeah,
why.
but there's messages that are everywhere. It doesn't matter if it's on kids' clothes. Like
I'll say it like this, Block.
everything from
kid-
babies to fucking
No,
adults.
that's fine. I agree. Yes, I understand where you're coming from. I'll say it like this though. Trans people. What does it say? Trans people will always be everywhere, or something like that. Always
They
exist?
will always exist.
Okay. I don't know of any 5-year-old I don't think a 5-year-old kid could comprehend that message. So to
Well,
me,
that looked like it was on a teenager. type
okay, a
shirt.
teenager shirt different. If
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
I'm,
that was more like a 78.
see, I want to know.
78-year-old.
I
See,
don't know.
see, to me, I'm like, if you're putting a shirt on a 5-year-old kid, and that kid does not understand the message of that shirt,
Yeah.
then it's you as the parent
Who are
trying to
making
put
the
your
statement.
message out
Yeah.
there through your child, and I don't like that. I think there's something
The
weird about
the
that.
other problem.
The statement itself, though, is not incorrect. It is
Yeah.
a true statement. It's
You're
the
more
way
going-
it's put
the
out
use
there.
of
Yeah.
how it's
They're
being
the
used.
also the other problem that they're having,
Yeah.
that which are saying they're trying to target children with this is more towards trans stuff.
Sure.
There's a tag on each individual clothing,
Yeah.
and it says it's a picture of the underwear, and it says tuck friendly construction or easy crotch coverage.
On
Meaning-
what clothing?
These children's underwear.
Children's underwear say something about.
Well, no, there's a tag. It's a tag,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like
I
a price
understand. I
tag,
understand that.
and it's a picture of the underwear, meaning tuck friendly.
All right,
meaning
You-
children are gonna be
okay,
tucking their-
Okay,
the
here's
the
I'm gonna-
genitalia.
Okay, here's the way I'm processing it. Right. Number one, you're putting this out there as an underwear thing, and we're saying, hey, listen, just so you're aware, it's tuck friendly. So if there's a case and it's okay to do it with this, you're not gonna. It's modeled for that purpose. At the same time, how many children are doing that? I cannot, for the life of me, think of any child out there at 5, 6, 7, or 8 years old who knowingly is going to tuck themselves when they get dressed in the morning. I'm not saying it's zero kids, because I have taught kids who I knew from a very young age. They would be in summer camp every year. Very young age, who would be back every year, and I'd be like, we knew then. Like, one kid just came out last year, and he came out as gay. No problem there, but I knew him since he was 5. He's 14 now. I've known him since he was 5. The rest, we were all looking at him like, this kid is, we think. I mean, just a thought. No, there's nothing wrong with that thought. But like at 5 years old, we were like, this kid's, he's showing that he's probably whatever. We were right. My point is, though, I don't think he was getting up in the morning and tucking his dick between his legs, and then getting dressed to go to school. He made that decision later on in life when he reached the appropriate age. And when you're that young, you're not buying your own clothes. Your parents are buying them for you. So again, what's the purpose of saying that on children's clothes? If this was adult clothes, no fucking problem.
Oh yeah. Okay. I can.
Fuck if you want.
If you explain it that way, then yeah, I can see that. It kind of seems like the
Their
parents,
defense is saying that, listen, we're just putting it out there to let you know it's okay. That's fine.
But at that
And
point,
there's-
like you said, it's more of the parents spreading that message
Via their kids.
via their kids, when kids don't even know that. I mean,
Yeah,
for me personally, I just think generally there's really nothing wrong with it. That whole underwear situation is a little different. Oh, tuck, whatever, but I don't know.
And since, wasn't there another shirt about putting down, like strapping down the chest?
Well, it's the underwear and the bras are, I guess, or the shirts have that tag on it
Okay.
that say tuck friendly or strapping chest friendly. I don't know.
Well, let's see, again, that would be someone who would be reached the age where they have developed
Yeah.
breasts and are suppressing those breasts through use of a strap, who would then wear that shirt. But if it's on a piece of clothing that a 5-year-old would wear, 5-year-olds are not strapping down their breasts because they don't fucking have breasts. It makes no sense.
And there's also a cry out from not just, and it's getting more and more these days. The more and more you see it, the LGBT, the alphabet community are crying out that they're being used by companies for this bullshit.
Well, that goes like I said before. If there's a hot button issue and a company doesn't say something, then they're vilified as saying
Somebody asked, especially there's been a couple people asking on Twitter, why do they do this just for Pride Month? If you're going to sit there and do it, have it, because they're not just going to be Pride. They're not going to be proud in June.
Right.
They're that all year round.
Of
So
course.
just if you're going to do it all year round.
Well, it's the same thing. Then see that right there. It undermines the idea of a pride of any month devoted to a Pride Month.
Well, I think
Or
any
it's the
Pride
same. It's
Month.
like you just
Pride
made the
is
same
stupid.
argument. It's like February is Black History Month. Well, what happens the rest of the year? They turn their blackness off. Black history should be something that's taught 12 months of the year, not 1 month dedicated to it. It should be something that everybody. It should be It should be a part of our curriculum. But again, if it's part of history, it's regardless of who discovered it. It's that person. Their sexuality, their race, their religion should come second place to whatever they contributed to history, good, bad, or indifferent.
Well, I think from like the media standpoint, it's more of a damned if you do, damned if you don't
I was thinking
situation.
the same exact thing.
Because there only really is outrage when it comes to those specific topics at that specific time. I mean, not so much because of like, LGBTQ. I mean, that's more.
Don't forget
Pride-
the I's and the A's. They're there too.
I can't keep up with all the fucking letters. All right, I'm doing my best.
That's
Just
why
say
I
alphabet community.
That's why I call them the alphabet community.
It's-
I'm
like,
an ally,
no-
but Jesus Christ, there's too many fucking letters.
I know. I no disrespect.
Create
to
a
anybody.
word. Just create one word so it encompasses everything.
Technically, it's
But-
LGBTQ plus, and a plus just covers everything else after that.
Okay, I'll try to remember that. But anyway, it always seems to take more. It always seems to be more of a hot topic during the months that they're targeting.
Sure.
So during June, for it being Pride Month, it seems like everyone goes uproar, their panties in the Twitch. What the fuck did I just
Doesn't
say?
matter who's wearing those
Twist.
panties.
Yeah,
They're in a
exactly.
Twitch.
It's always that, but it's like they're that all year long. So it's like, why is it a big problem during a month like June? And why is it that companies have to sit there and flip a coin and be like, I don't know if we want to do this for this month,
Go ahead.
or I don't know if I should or shouldn't, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really. To me, it doesn't really matter, because a company is going to marketing strategy the best way they can in order to make money. Because at the end of the day, that is the focus. Like I read about I think it was a jewelry store that has next to no ads, but yet they still make good, positive amounts of money without those advertisements.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is, regardless of if you're going to do that, that's fine. I think you, as a company, you have to know who is buying your products,
Bingo.
because if you, especially with Target, I see look. I don't. A lot of people do Pride lines. All right, there's a lot of companies who sit there and do a specific targeted Pride or Irish or whatever it is. you have to know what your target audience is. And if your customers who shop there throughout the entire year don't fit within that target audience, there's a problem then.
No, it's not a problem. It's that,
I mean, there's a problem that you did that. They lost $10 billion fucking dollars.
Right, but again, you have people sitting there going, "Why is this marketed towards children specifically?" I think that's...
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a little girl. There's a baby onesie. I'm looking at their Pride line right now.
Yeah. I don't
There's a
have
baby
that in front of me.
onesie that's in with a. Obviously, the bien is in every racial color. I don't know what the blue is, but then it says bien proud.
What?
Bien.
Bien.
It's Spanish.
Okay, good pride.
Yeah.
Pride good.
Yeah, proud good. Like there's children that have it.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing. Like it's literally, and it goes in the tags on it too. I don't know if these tags, again, they might have taken it off.
I'm sure some of that's come off. Sure.
And then there's this one. I don't know how it falls into Pride. This one is more of just, it's animals. It's a horse, a duck, a lion, and it's under the Pride one, but it says it takes all kinds.
All kinds of do what?
But that's literally, it's baby.
Cohabitate?
It takes all kinds in
I understand
blue.
where they're coming from.
Please elaborate, because I'm confused.
So basically, what I was just trying to point out is like, it takes everyone together,
Yeah.
using different species of animals: the horse, duck, lion, whatever it may be, on the shirt, pants, whatever. I don't care. It takes all of us together
care.
actually do it or be prideful about it.
Oh.
Especially because I think
Until the lion gets hungry and eats the duck.
I was gonna say I
Food
think
chain.
2 out of 3 animals, like depending on the culture,
The
right,
only
can
one
be
I
seen
see-
as prideful animals, especially like the lion.
The only one I see that is up there is Bien Proud, and everything else that was, anything that has to do with trans people or anything like that has been taken down.
See, the thing is, I don't think you need to focus on that, especially if you're a major retailer like Target.
Because I think
There's
if
no reason to be inclusive, because who's to say that they didn't shop?
Watch your words.
No,
Right.
I'm meaning from like the advertisement.
Right,
Like
right,
they're
right.
trying to include, but who's to say that those people didn't shop there all year long anyway?
It's not
So
about
it's
that.
like
Here's-
it pinpoints it on them. So it's like kind of making a target, and then it backfires because of the opposition.
Go ahead. You go first.
So early in the episode, like I said, advertisement can be non-malicious if you're using someone gay, someone trans, whatever it may be,
Yeah.
a person of color. But in this case, it could be seen as more of a malicious intent, as in they're doing it for a purpose, but it's because they get more sales. It's a month about someone specific, a minority group, Pride. People with pride will go out and shop, especially because nowadays that's more celebrated. People are taking those months very, very pridefully. They're taking those months as a fool.
Well, and they want to go dressed up and stuff like that if they go to parades and stuff.
If they go
like
to
that.
Yeah, but
parades,
Yes.
That's
and
what
they're
I'm saying.
taking that stuff and they're going to use it to their advantage. It's
Well, I
like
can see that in this situation, like it completely fucking backfired because of the opposition, who didn't shop at all, and they said they lost. What,
Well,
10
I don't
billion?
think it's an opposition. I think it's their customers who
I-
they didn't sit there and track down of who actually sits there and shops at their, because if listen, I don't think Billy Ray whatever down in Kentucky is going to be shopping at a Target. Like not saying
No,
that.
no,
there's-
I think
there's a
there's,
different-
here's what I'm grasping at here. I think, kind of springboarding over what Cito said about being used maliciously. It's not that it's being used maliciously or not malicious. I think it's more like this.
They're making a statement.
We're looking at it like, okay, if you were to sit there and put out during the month of March a bunch of shirts with leprechauns on it, and there was a big backlash, like we don't want to see that shit in our store. St. Patrick's and leprechauns and all that shit. We don't want that shit in our store. All those people will be looked at and go, you're racist and that's wrong, right? When it comes to the trans community or the alphabet gang completely, we're not at that point yet where someone's going, you're looking at them and you're discriminating against them. That's wrong because it's ist, because people have no problem being that ist.
I don't think it has anything to do with them selling. Like they're not sitting here saying don't sell it. What they're saying is don't put it on children's clothing.
Okay, well, there's the difference.
There-
That's a much
That's
different
the main
thing.
thing because it's not
It's
the issue.
it's not the issue of if they're selling Pride stuff.
Okay.
It's the issue they're putting it on
Then that's my.
children's stuff.
I misheard what you were going
right
with.
now, the issue with Target is the fact that they're putting out children's clothing.
Children's clothes, yeah.
Especially at ages where children would not understand. So it's more of a parent's agenda to actually say their own statement.
Right.
And then when you okay, so when you put it in that way, when you put stuff as far as like the one thing of trans will always be here, regardless of whether you believe that or not, or not you believe it or not, whether you like that statement or not. Because I think at point it's whether you like it or not, whether you believe it, because it's a true statement.
It is a true statement.
Trans people will always be here no matter what.
100%.
It's people don't like it, people do like it. It's just how the way the world works. But when you put it on something like a child's clothing who doesn't buy their own clothing, at that point, Target's making the decision of saying we're making a statement by putting it on a child's clothing, and then the parents are making a statement by putting it on the child themselves.
It's almost.
Now
Yeah.
it's backfiring on them because Target did the stupid decision thinking that they'll just get away with it because it's a hot button topic right now and Pride Month is coming up. So they're like, we'll get away with it because these two things are happening. It'll make us look good in the green light saying that we're pro this, we're pro trans people, we're pro
Right,
trans
yeah.
rights because we're putting it on children's stuff, but they didn't research who's shopping at their fucking stores.
Okay, I
That-
can see it that way now because I wasn't viewing it that way as if, like you said, they're using children to spread
No, I even think
the message for the parents to be able to show it. I
Right.
didn't really
The
see it
kid's
that way.
becoming a billboard for the parents' thoughts.
No, again,
Yeah.
you could
No,
you
no,
could
no,
say
here,
that on
here.
any side, like
Sure.
whether
I
whether
just-
anything
If
you
I'm
put on a kid.
Yeah, I was about to say, if I put on, if I
Like
dress
I know my
kid,
kid, whenever I have a child, I'm gonna douse him in "Is this real?" stuff, but no one's gonna say "Fuck,
you
is this
can buy
real?"
Is this real baby merch?
We do have "Is this real?" baby merch. You can do that,
Right.
Oh yeah.
But it's
Joey, I
like, yeah,
think
it's
you
the same
do-
thing. It's
but
like,
I'm not gonna put
like,
tuck
we-
it on a child's thing. I think that's a big
Yeah,
problem also.
Yeah.
I do think you have some kind of misconception of doing research on who buys there, because you expect every. Do you think they're actually doing surveys? You can assume like some guy from Kentucky is not going to shop at Target.
No, I understand the assumption. What I'm saying is, especially when it comes
Know
to
your
businesses,
audience.
you have to know your audience.
It's hard to know your audience, especially in the United States, as the audience.
It's not as hard as you think it is, because when you
assume that.
no, I don't assume that. You look at product sales. You look at
You
how
can't
products.
look at product sales because the issue with product sales, most product sales are anonymous unless you're specifically asking them their own personal opinions.
I'm not saying for the individual itself. I'm saying you take and look at the products of what being sold.
If you look at a store in say Mississippi and you see a lot of shirts with the Confederate flag flying off the shelves, chances are the trans stuff is not going to be a hot button thing that's going to be sold in bulk.
Exactly, and
You
when it
can look
when
at
it
it
comes
like that. At
when
the
it
same
comes
time,
to Target,
you can't.
I'm not saying
Well,
Target
you,
is
you
for.
can't really get into the nitty gritty of like this person who bought that shirt.
I'm not talking
was
about that.
of
I'm
this-
saying
Even then, the way you're looking at it, you still cannot count it as for towards Target, because communities can even be different amongst themselves. That's the one thing about sociology that I've learned. There's different levels of
yeah,
of
but
community.
you're. But what I'm saying is you're taking it into the more deeper shit. I'm not.
He's more broad based.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
talking about more broad-based stuff, and that's what you have to sit there and go by.
Yeah, but if you're going based off the broad base, you're actually going over and looking at your own information. That's kind of a misconception. That's what you have to look at.
That's how business works, though.
Not necessarily, especially when you're looking at, especially like sales. If it's like the first line,
I'll put an example because I was on fast track to be a manager at one store in whatever the fuck the thing is over here. So I was sitting there, and I was going over buying products for the store itself.
okay,
We got statistics on what was being sold and how fast they were selling.
okay,
Those are the stuff we bought out the most of.
is that your store specifically?
Specifically, yes, for my store. And as a company, you could sit there and go by the product ID and how the product is being sold in a general aspect of the country
Were you
throughout
able
each
to
store.
access that as a manager?
I was there with my store manager when he did that.
To access the entire country's actual product,
Well,
or was it just regional?
Well, no, I
or
mean
districts?
we don't have that thing for like, but they're not like I said. You sit there and you go for,
Yeah,
you have what you know what you're selling, and then this is
What type
selling
of store
good.
was this?
Outside stuff,
We were talking
Okay.
about that store.
Yeah, that store.
Not
No, not that.
'Cause-
That is
okay.
the general thing we get sent to us. We don't
Copy that.
buy.
So you're
we
talking-
didn't buy our own stuff.
copy
So it was an outside store, you say?
Yeah, like there was a lot of. I mean, it was more of a bougie
that. Home furnishings.
home furnishing
Okay,
outdoor
so then you
furnishing
have to
stuff.
also look. Well, see, this is where it needs
place
to
that
get
we were
deeper.
at?
Yes.
This needs to get deeper because say if you're doing it here in the north, the culture here, furniture culture here, is different from furniture culture in the south or Midwest.
No, I
or
get
East
that,
Coast.
and that's what I'm saying. They sit there and they do look at stuff like that, and they do look at the types of products being sold, and they also look at the reviews online. I'm being dead honest when
Yeah,
people
no, I
turn around
understand
and
that
say like
part.
if there is a backlash of a certain object or a product,
Yeah,
it
no,
does
that's
come
the
into
part I'm
effect.
understanding. What I'm trying to tell you is that you're going based off the this idea or this broader look of they should have seen it coming or they should have seen it as because you could tell by like who's buying it or the area you're buying it from, but it's not as easy as you may expect.
I never said it easy. What I'm saying is if you don't want to lose money, you do your research, and they pay people just to do that.
That's the thing though, especially if it's new products lines, you can't just toss them out there, or you can't just say okay, because pride lines do good, especially stores, big stores. They tend to do good. If one pride line specifically doesn't do good, you can't predict that in the future. It's a mishap. You won't expect that.
I don't
It's like
Yeah, but I don't think it's necessarily the amount of sales. It's the backlash because that
that's a different
ideology is
story.
on the shirt, is on the kid's shirt.
But this is
Yeah.
this is now them actually realizing, okay, this was a bust
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of reaction. They couldn't spend the time to research that further, especially now with movements where there's now allowing is like let's introduce the LGBT to younger audiences as they're growing up in puberty and trying to figure themselves out. This is big. So you can't say that, oh, they should have expected this coming.
Well, I never said expected this coming.
Well, you said
what I'm saying
as-
is they should know their audience.
you should know their audience, which means basically in turn, unless you're trying to mean something else, they should have expected this coming. You knowing your audience means that you know that they won't buy it. That means you know it would have busted.
They'll have a problem with it.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. That's not expect your audience. This is you should expect what's going on around this socioeconomical situation we
Well,
have.
I think any company at this point should turn around, especially when it has to do with a hot button issue like that. If you're going, because it's not like no problems with saying proud or saying anything
I
like
understand
that.
where you're coming from.
I think, but what I'm saying, when it comes to something like that, and especially when it comes to hot button issues, and to sit there and exclusively, not say LGBTQ plus or Pride Month or anything like that, to exclusively say trans people will always be here, you are sitting there and excluding one part of this entire Pride Month because of a hot button issue that's happening right now, and putting it on children's clothing.
See, and I understand that.
You
part.
have to be a little smarter than that.
Yeah, no, I understand that
Yeah.
part, but also look at the current situation that we're going on. And this is actually, I would say, media manipulating companies, because right now media is very pushing towards, having younger audiences, children's preteens or whatever it may be, to understand trans and understand themselves, pushing that agenda, or if you want to call it an agenda, pushing that ideology earlier to younger audiences. That's where it goes back to media manipulation, but it's not the company manipulating us to buy it; it's the reverse.
No,
And that's what
obviously.
it's going on.
I have a question for you. This tuck-friendly stuff, what articles of clothing is it appearing on?
Children's bathing suits.
Bathing suits. Are you sure it's the children's bathing suits specifically? Because I'm pulling up something
It's
here.
on children's bathing suits
Hold on a
and it's on
second.
adult bathing suits.
I'm pulling up here that the bathing suits size, the bathing suit is marketed towards adults and is offered in size from 2X small through 4X. None of the kids' swimsuits in the Pride section are labeled as tuck friendly. I would have to see that specifically because, like, if they're saying that you can buy an extra small bathing suit, but it's marketed for adults, there's no problem here. I don't give a fuck. Make it tuck friendly. They're adults. If it's on children's stuff, then that's where I have an issue. And I think that needs to be the basis of this argument here. Because we've been talking about this for 20 minutes. I've been enjoying this conversation, but I think that needs to be the biggest thing that we are sure of. Is this tuck label appearing on children's stuff specifically? Because
Yeah,
if it's not,
Yeah, we have to.
then this is a mute
define-
argument.
This has to.
We have
go
to
in-
define what the problem is
'Cause I just
in
read,
order
like-
to be
I
able to
think
talk
it's more
about
of
the
a case that we
problem.
need to look into deeper.
Yeah,
You had Matt Walsh on his show going, well, they're not saying it's for kids, but it's a 2X small. It'll fit a child. It's obviously for them. And then you have Target going, no, it's for petite adults who are that small.
There are adults that small, like
yeah,
No, I know
exactly.
that.
So that's my thing now is like, is this true? Or is it someone going, this is a small bikini or this is a small swimsuit.
Yeah,
This looks like it could fit a child and it says tuck on here. You're misreading what the fuck is actually happening here.
they're insinuating.
That's
okay.
what I need to
Toward-
figure
Okay,
out.
that's fine. All I'm saying is, regardless of all of that, regardless of if it's a misconception, they still lost $10 billion.
Oh, sure. It's going to catch like wildfire.
yeah.
So, obviously, whoever their consumer is, regardless of if you believe it or not, did not like the product was being put out.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So that's what you have to sit there and go by. I mean, especially for a business. Like if you're
It's
gonna
up to
sit
Target
there,
to sit there and go, no, you guys were wrong and prove that. They're not going to make that $10 billion back.
no, they're not.
But at the same time, they're not going out of business
Well,
tomorrow either.
they also
They're fucking
they
Target.
did pull those things though.
Excuse me. They might just have to do something where they label the clothing specifically
But I also
children's
think, yeah.
and adults.
I also think it comes to the point where you have to sit there and if you're gonna do that, that's fine. Just have a broad spectrum of it. Don't sit there and try to. And I think it goes with the trans
What do you mean
tag
broad
on it.
spectrum?
Just say what they're doing now. Have a rainbow on it. You don't have to specifically point out each individual or say a hot button issue on a child's shirt.
No, I think that's
Yeah, he's talking about it's focusing on trans people will always exist.
yeah.
This
and
is
there's
Pride
no,
Month.
and
as-
there's no other shirt that seems like it'll say
You know, gay people always
bisexual
exist, or
or gay,
bisexuals
yeah.
always exist.
That's the thing with listen. Unfortunately, right now, let's talk the way I think is real. Whoever's at the top, who's like making the decision to put that product out there, is looking as a product that's going to sell and make him money or her money. Okay, doesn't matter. Like
That person's probably fired
it's
now.
hold on a second. It's
Someone's
out,
fired.
It's out in June because it's Pride Month, and then in October we're gonna drop the Halloween shit. And then November is going to come the Christmas shit. And then all that month is going to be pumping out for that thing. And then the next holiday, the next hot button topic, the next thing is going to come around. Then we're going to push that product. It's product to that degree.
No, I understand that. There's a difference though when you specifically point out
You're right, because you
a
have
hot button issue.
I understand
That is a hot button issue.
I understand that. But, like, I think at the top,
Like Target's not going to put out fucking, fuck Santa Claus on a kid's shirt.
no, I understand
December.
that. No, I understand
Even
that.
though it might be a hot button
But they're
issue
also
in
not going to
December.
put out fuck trans people either on a t-shirt.
No. I'm
You know what I mean? So I think to them it's like,
Who's
it's Pride.
touching their mic?
To them, it's like it's Pride
We
Month
can hear
coming
that.
up. Put a bunch of Pride shit out. Pride shit is there all year round.
Well, what
in
I'm
smaller
saying is
quantities.
who's ever going to sit there and do gave the okay for that definitely is losing their job.
I don't know.
You take a $10 billion loss, somebody has to lose their job.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, I can see that.
Like,
Someone-
regardless of if you're in the right or wrong, someone's going to be losing their job.
Someone's getting a pink slip.
Like that's
Probably.
It's like, why even put the tag on there at this point? It's just like, if someone who's gonna buy it and they're gonna tuck their shit and be like, oh my god, this is awesome, it would have spread like wildfire that way, and Target would have made money because they would have been like, hey guys, Target is like, they're selling them and it's tuckable or it's tuck friendly. I don't know the right verbiage. I'm not in this community. My point is, like, I am comfortable
He's not wrong.
here, and like they're not saying it, but they're recognizing it.
Mr. West, you've been awfully quiet this whole segment.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a specific reason?
I'm looking at Lamborghinis and houses.
Okay.
Okay.
Priorities.
Thank you for joining, West.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Great talking with you, Coach.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, I think I don't know. It's, you know what it is. It's more of those things where like it would be the same thing if they turned around and did start selling fucking.
It's all right. Next month is 4th
You know.
of July. They're going to sell a lot of American flags and paper plates with the American flag on it and shirts with red, white, and blue and all this shit that you can put out on your lawns. And they'll make all that money back because everyone loves America.
I don't know. I can't shop at Target, man. They don't have a size tarp.
Yeah, I know. I totally get you on that one.
They
Like,
actually have really good sizing for pants, though. I'm gonna be honest.
now, I'll be honest. I actually go to the DXL store because even though it's bigger, they have really good quality clothing.
You want to know who they're sleeping on right now? Kohl's. Don't sleep on Kohl's. Kohl's got some
don't
good
sleep
shit.
on clothes, like-
These pants. I got a selection of these guys from.
You hear
Kohl's.
that, companies? You hear that?
I actually shopped at that because I saw them when I was living with someone that doesn't need to be named. And I was like, yo, these shorts are pretty fire. So I grabbed a few colors of these, and they're great. They're comfortable.
May I rub your shorts?
You may rub them. They're very soft.
These are very soft.
All right.
Always ask for consent before rubbing another person's shorts.
Yes, we are all about the consent here. That's what I do on my TikTok also. You know, when I do all these lives and people,
Would you like
they
to
just
see
come out of nowhere. Like I did it last night. Like I'll be
Right.
honest.
That's
I did.
soft
Hold on.
as hell.
I did-
Okay, who wants to feel my shorts?
This will be no.
No.
See, that's not consent. That's more of asking. There's a difference.
Please feel them.
I did
It
it
was on the
last
equivalent
night.
exchange.
Let's just put it like this. I did it last night. This will be the thing, and then we'll because there's no whether we believe these are actual topics and tactics that are being used in the world today as far as media manipulation.
Yes.
Final
So-
thoughts, basically.
Yeah, final thoughts. All I'm gonna say is last night, as far as the consent thing, with I do the smash or pass on my TikTok, JC_ITR. If you want to go,
Is this real PC?
yeah. Well, we don't do the smash or pass on there. we were
no,
banned
go
on that one.
go to our TikTok though.
Yeah, go to our TikTok page. But I do the smash or pass, right? And when somebody just turns around and goes, "Oh, I'll pass on you," I'm like, I didn't fucking ask you. You're asking me. Remember, I didn't say, "Will you smash or pass me?" I said, "Well, you're asking me if I want to smash or pass." I didn't give you consent. So then I go in on them.
Okay. I'm happy that you have the moral high ground there, Joey.
Yes.
Whether
so.
you're telling women if you would fuck them or not. Great job, you.
Well, I don't just say, "Oh, look, Miranda, welcome. I'd smash." No, I don't do that. If nobody types anything, then I stay quiet.
Joey's a whore.
I'm not a whore.
Nobody cares. Can we get
Low-key
on
a
with it?
whore.
Okay, that's the only thing that's making consistent money in this company right now, so fuck all of you.
You don't have to talk about it on an episode.
I do, because if the people listening want to go to my TikTok, we have 26,000 downloads. That's 26,000 people that could potentially be in my lives and pay money.
Yeah, his dick is kind of carrying the company right now.
Thank you. I'm not sucking the dick for cocaine. Anywho. Final thoughts, Cito.
You could.
Bless you, by the way.
Thank you.
Salud.
I had to hold on. Anthony, go.
I think that a lot of times with manipulation, you need to be very careful because you're being manipulated in subtle ways, people. Whether you're watching the news, unless you're watching something that is giving you just the facts. Who, what, when, where, and why. Sorry,
Actual
no.
journalism.
Who, what, when, and where. The why and the how is not necessary. That's stuff that needs to be figured out and discovered later on. Who did the thing? What? Where was it? That's what you need to know. Unless once they start deviating from that and they're giving
And
you
when did it
their
happen?
opinion on those facts, you're being what?
I'm sorry. When it's a true thing of the why, you can't deviate from there saying, "Oh, there's someone's opinion on why they did that."
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the how and the why is later on. I'm talking about just the facts. This is what happened in the
Well,
world.
if it's a fact of why they did it.
No. You don't know that.
No, you do know that.
No, you don't know that. I'll give you an example right now. This is going to be an Is This Real True Crime episode coming up. The Ohio 4. The Idaho 4. We know Brian Kohlberger is the one who was arrested. We have the who. 4 kids were murdered. Where? In the house. What? By a knife. How? They were stabbed to death, right? The why he did it? We don't know that yet.
Well, we haven't. What I'm saying
And we
is,
have someone in
what I'm
lockup
saying is when
who's
you sit there and you have the facts of it, you've done your interview, you've done your research, and you have the why.
But why could be very different based on what
You
you're
could have
talking
been just
about.
like, I was bored.
Like, why did you do it? He'd be like, well, look at Charlie Manson. Every time he asked him, why did you do it? He gave another answer. He gave a different answer every time he asked him why. Like, why is not nearly as important as the straight facts. Who, what, when, and where.
I mean, to me, why could be.
Why
part of the
gives
facts,
you
though.
the understanding of the who, what, when, and where. But that doesn't
It
change the
humanizes-
fact that...
it humanizes the event.
Exactly. Somebody was hit by a car on Broad Street in the middle of the night last night. Like, those are actual facts. Now, if I sit there and start reading those facts and going, and this is going to happen more often because there's not a stop sign
that's
down
not a,
on Broad Street, and that's because the mayor is using
That's-
stop sign money.
that's
to-
not a why, though.
No, I'm not saying it's
To
a why.
put tiles in his fucking
But what I'm
pool.
saying, if the person who hit that person with a car saying, "Wait, what?"
If
If the person sitting there saying, "Well, I hit him
Wasn't that
because
Chris?
he was wearing a Nazi shirt," that's a fact. He said it.
But that could change. The why provides you a deeper understanding. I'll look at it from a scientific term. I don't need to know why gravity exists. I just need to know that it exists and how it exists, so I can land a spaceship on Mars. Why does gravity exist? Could be something we discuss later on. I don't need to know why it exists. I need to understand how it exists so I can achieve what I need to achieve. Okay? And when you're
Agree to
reporting
disagree.
the news,
Ow.
you need the facts. And when someone turns around and goes, these are the facts, and here's why this is the way it is because your president decided to sign this into effect, but not that. Now it's becoming, you're hearing someone's opinion. You need to be very careful in listening to that opinion because you could be manipulated without realizing it. Because you're going to take somebody as fact when they're giving you an opinion. It's why Fox won the lawsuit, because they said the Tucker Carlson show is not technically news. It's an opinionated show. Because someone sued them and said, I was given this information. This was news. It's not news. In your marketing, it should be called news. And they're like, it's not. It doesn't say it's the Tucker Carlson show. It doesn't say news. And it's not news. It's an opinionated show. And that's why they won.
Okay.
So that's all I'm saying is when you get facts, you need to understand what those facts are. And when the facts stop coming and they're starting to be peppered in with the person's opinion, to me, you need to be careful of that shit because it's a very slight way of being manipulated into thinking differently of the facts.
You're absolutely right. At the same time, there is nothing on this planet that gives you straight facts without that person's political opinion. Not political, but that person's opinion.
No, that's not true. That's not true. You have
Besides scientifical fact.
NPR does their best to beat just the facts. This is exactly what happened
Okay.
as we found it. Like there was a fire that happened last night at this place. We don't know what caused the fire, but we do know that we pulled 2 bodies out. They died. Those are what I mean, like just the facts. You can report just the facts. There's a lot of agencies that do that. There are shows on Fox and shows on CNN that report factual news.
Without their opinion?
But that's what I'm saying. They start off by saying, the president signed this today. Okay, that's a fact. That's real. And now he's like, but here's why this is bad for our country. Now it's opinion. And now that opinion is not slurring that fact, but it's making you feel that the fact that he signed that was incorrect. That's where you need to be careful.
All right. West?
Yeah.
Yes.
I fucking love this man.
Yes, that's all it is.
Yeah. It's a thing.
I'll be honest. Your T-shirt is just gonna be That's it.
I agree.
All right.
It's not much to say to it, man. It's like, just fucking take it as a grain of salt. Believe it if you want to. Don't believe it if you want to. It doesn't fucking matter.
Are you okay? Did you get a bad text message?
No.
Okay.
No, it really just doesn't matter, bro. Because like at the end of the day, like if you want to choose to believe it and you want to choose to be manipulated, that's your fault. If you want to try to do something about
Wait a
it,
second, that undermines it. You don't choose to be manipulated. You're being manipulated because you don't know that you're being manipulated.
because
That's
you
the
don't
point
want
of
to
manipulation.
because you don't want to do your own research.
Okay. I agree with you on that. If you don't want to do your own research, then you get what you give.
Yeah,
That's fair.
that's what I'm getting
Right,
at.
but no one's choosing to be like, yes, mold my mind, CNN daddy.
You don't know that. Some people can like have a kink for psychological warfare.
Listen, both the left and the right for their particular things send either Fox or CNN.
Huh?
What?
Left follows CNN like it's a godsend, especially the deep left.
I'm not disagreeing
And the
with you.
deep right follows Fox like it's a godsend.
I'm not.
So there are people who will sit there and say
there are people who watch both or
and
only,
sit there and blindly believe everything that company
That's
says.
fine, but that's what I'm saying. That's the danger of it.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but you just said there's not people sitting there blindly lead me, CNN daddy.
What I'm saying is they're not people who are consciously making the choice to be manipulated. There are people who are watching CNN going, this is the stuff that I agree with, without realizing that some of the points are manipulated. Okay.
So,
Okay.
some
we go.
people do not go and sit there. It's like, man, I can't wait to see what they're going to manipulate me to believe today. They're going
do.
in there.
What? Come on, because yo, look at it as entertainment. It's just like, all right, let's see what they're gonna try to fool people with this time. You stupid.
But you're not being manipulated.
Yeah,
you're not
upfront
choosing. You're
knowing.
just seeing what they're going to say. Basically, what he's trying to say is people don't voluntarily go and say, I'm going to be manipulated. What he's saying...
Well, no, they don't know they're being manipulated.
Exactly.
People who are blindly following
Exactly.
them, they're hiding behind the ignorant. Not exactly hiding. They're following ignorance that they don't want to change. They don't want to open up. They don't realize it because they're stuck behind this veil of ignorance.
Depression is
And
a choice.
that's what he's trying to... We're not starting this
Please,
because I will stand here for 3 hours and argue with you. So anyways...
Make that a Cito episode.
So, anyways, that's what he's trying to say. And not going to me. Before a whole another thing breaks off, I kind of agree with Anthony with the fact of know your facts. Sometimes like the whole thing with the why itself is all based on the context, because why could change, but overall is everyone has to be a little more aware, and that's one of the big issues. Manipulation could be in such a small and subtle thing that you will never realize it unless it's directly pointed out to you. And that's what everyone needs to actually look at. That's why everyone needs to like open their eyes, move the curtains a little bit, let a little more sun in. Because if you're keeping your curtains closed, aka your mind, you're going to see just the sheds of light, the little bit of what you could see, what's actually, the truth and all that. The moment you start, understanding what's going on, you actually see more.
All right. Roadblock?
Final thoughts for me from media manipulation. How do I put this? Yeah, let's just put it this way. You technically can be manipulated by everything. We didn't really touch on it. We focused mainly probably on like news manipulation, but there is other forms like you had spoken about before. But it goes, excuse me, it goes one step further. There's media, at least to me, there's media manipulation even in our phones. Advertisements. You could be on Facebook and see ads. They sit there and they focus those ads onto the ones that you actually watch. I think we might have said it, or maybe you guys might have said it, targeted ads because you watched a commercial on, I don't know, adult diapers for a little too long. So you might see more of that. There really is manipulation in everything. Facebook, Twitter, it's ridiculous. So to me, it's if you sit there and you look at something and you just blindly watch it all, your head's going to get filled with just nonsense. and you won't have your own thoughts, your own identity and stuff like that, because you're just letting stuff flow into your brain and you're not being an individual.
You're not questioning it.
Yeah,
That's-
you're not questioning it.
I was gonna say, you make a great point, like, and that's why we end every episode with question everything, because that's what everyone, no matter what political side of the spectrum you're on, whatever show you watch, regardless of the network, when you turn that show off, you should go, huh, well, let me see what that person said made sense or if it's full of shit.
Yeah, and if you go to look it up on social medias, you're gonna get nothing but that.
Yeah.
So it's just, it keeps being fed to you, and you may not be able to form ideas of your own without actually looking into maybe, say, the opposition of that opinion.
Right. You remind me of a funny story, by the way. When you're talking about like ads on like YouTube and shit.
Yeah.
This one person was like, "Hey, YouTube, maybe don't put an ad in when I'm trying to figure out how to do the Heimlich maneuver when grandma's choking." Just a thought. I don't need to see a product placement. I'm trying to figure out where to press so this bitch can breathe.
Mid-video ad plays. Are you struggling to breathe? Here's a new asthma medicine.
Yeah, it's creepy because it can catch up to you in every way, shape, and form.
It can catch up to you near instantly.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter what it is. If you watch an advertisement for just a second too long, you're going to see more advertisements. You'll see the same one repeated. So it's whatever you allow yourself to see on a daily basis. I feel like the manipulation can come from everywhere. So just look out for it. You know, be conscious. Look into things and, like we say, question everything. Just try to learn, try to gain some knowledge, be insightful, so that way you can have your own thoughts and opinions.
I'm gonna take yours a little step further.
Yeah.
So when you go down the social media aspect, and I agree with everything you said. So I completely agree with everything you said. The only difference is, especially when you talk about social media or places like YouTube or Google, where, let's face it, Bing, Google are the biggest web engines in the world.
Who the fuck uses Bing?
Yeah, seriously.
There's a lot of people who use Bing.
Yeah, it's the Microsoft equivalent. Like,
Yeah, you'll look up how to save someone's life. Bing will tell you, yeah, put a bullet through their head.
Okay, what I'm saying is people
How to
use
stop
it.
someone from choking. Step on their throat.
What I'm saying is that people use it, all right? The Bing is to the Android, to the iPhone, the same shit, all right? What I'm saying is,
I use Yahoo. Thank you very much.
Compared to Bing?
anywho, what I'm saying is those companies manipulate the research you do also. And it's hard to sit there and do research when the companies are sitting there manipulating the shit that you research. Take an example. Regardless of whether you regardless of whether you believe in what Alex Jones says or not, whether believe he is a crazy lunatic nutbag like everybody says,
I'm sorry, I'm reacting to the face Tony made. Sorry.
he is banned on YouTube, banned on Twitter, banned on Google sites. You can't get any information that Alex Jones says.
Well, he's been blacklisted because he was found guilty. That's why. Whether you agree with that verdict or not, he was found guilty, which then puts into question everything else he's ever
Okay,
produced.
I'm not getting into the whole guilty verdict, the guilty aspect of his
That's
shit
fine.
anyway.
I'm just saying that's
Just
why.
because
It's-
someone
it's what happened.
but just because someone's guilty on someone doesn't mean we can't get information on them
I don't understand.
or the
you.
shit that they say. Like, we still hear shit that OJ says because even though he was sent to fucking prison for something.
He was sent to prison for something not unrelated to what he was famous for.
No, I understand
that
that.
trial,
What I'm saying is, companies ban, and YouTube has done this before. You can't search anything as far as anything conspiracy theory wise on YouTube. That's not happening.
Right. We live in the age of fact checking, and let's face it,
And
we're
the
a conspiracy podcast, but a lot of conspiracies are full of shit. There is no flat Earth, but there's still flat Earth channels.
No, I understand.
There is no
But
magic bullet, but there is magic bullet channels.
But what they sit
Let him
there,
finish.
yeah, what I'm saying is they sit there and they allow the things, especially when it's not as flat Earth. It's not hurting any government agencies.
No, it's people bickering amongst themselves.
It's people bickering amongst themselves. Shit that can seriously affect the government or anything like that, they tend to censor a lot more.
Well, see, that's
Alright.
where your opinion as a conspiracy theorist comes in. You disagree with the fact that Alex Jones got guilty.
No. I'm not saying that. I don't have nothing to do with the opinion on
He's
what
saying
he's guilty.
in general.
In general,
Okay.
you can't sit there and see any
Is
not
that
even
why
just
our
Alex
YouTube
Jones.
numbers are down?
You can't see anything that as far as conspiracy theory wise on YouTube without there being a little thing saying most of the things in this is bullshit.
Right, because we
Alright.
live in the age of fact checking.
And those fact checkers have also been proven to be wrong also.
That depends on who you're looking at. But
it depends on what you're talking about. Like,
yeah.
What I'm saying is someone's controlling what you as a consumer see,
you're right. That
which is a form of manipulation.
You're right, but also you're wrong because of the fact that most of the time. Let's look at it like this. If you're looking at YouTube, if you're getting most of your information from YouTube, you're already doing something greatly wrong.
What I'm saying is you could still do research on YouTube.
Yes, you can still do research on YouTube, but like you're saying is someone suppressing information. If you're looking at it as just YouTube alone, Google does not really do that. You can go ahead.
It depends on how the first 10 pages of Google is what they want you to see first.
what they want you to see, of course.
That's manipulation.
It's done by traffic. That's really what it is. Towards the name. You gotta understand that first. Then you can understand if it's like, okay, they want you to see these 10 pages. But go a little further. They're not suppressing it. They're just saying, hey, according to your question or whatever you had, these lists of subjects have the most amount of information. They're the most used. The more you go further down, you
Then
might
why is most of the time, if I turn around and punch in a conspiracy theory about 9/11, especially on Google, 9 pages of the first 10 is always pages about how it's a bullshit conspiracy theory. When we all know 90% of the company, 9% of the world, I would say I would bet my life on that fucking number, sits there and believes that 9/11 was not exactly the way they said it was.
might be wrong on that number. There's a lot of people that believe it the way it is. You gotta
I
understand.
guarantee there's more people in this world who
Well,
believe that
that's the thing,
9/11.
You can't guarantee.
You
You
can't
can't
I
guarantee.
can
guarantee.
guarantee.
No, you cannot. Look at them.
Yes,
Look at the
I can.
modern American school system. If you want to guarantee that and you put your life on it, go dig your grave right now. Please go do it.
What the fuck are you talking about?
The modern American school system, because you say the conspiracy theory is not how it goes, they teach you the way how it goes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Go
you're
dig
gonna-
your grave.
just-
That doesn't mean that people believe it just because the school system
No, no,
teaches
no,
it.
no,
When you're
no,
raised
no, no,
on
no.
information-
you do.
I was raised on that.
No, you weren't.
Yeah.
I wasn't raised on that in the history books. And 9/11 happened by terrorists that happened and taken down.
Joey, when did
That
you
wasn't
graduate?
that wasn't graduate high school 2013. We still had history in class in high school.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right.
But
I
look at me.
graduated to St. Gerard's in 2008.
Look at me. All right. Ever since like what, 5th grade, 6th grade, 9/11's been told the same story every single
Well,
year.
they're not going to change it up. So
Right. It's
But
it-
you're
I'm saying-
saying it is.
So we
course
should
to
put.
your
You know what,
age.
Joshua? This is going to be something for you to do, something for us to do on a TikTok. We're going to take a poll, whether you believe in the official story of 9/11 or not.
That's going to be biased. We cannot do that.
How?
Because if we're using our own following, who also agree with our own views and conspiracy theories, it's like going to a leftist or right opinion, like right group, and saying a political
Hold on,
opinion
we're
that
not-
agrees
hold
with
on,
them.
but yes and no, Cito, because we're not limiting to we're posting it from our page, but the page goes public. Everybody can see it. It's not followers only, so it's a
It's
little
not
bit.
followers only.
It's just
but
that we don't have enough of a fan base. We don't have enough of a social media presence to get an actual
Something like
number.
that will probably go viral,
Another
and
thing,
people
though,
will sit there and comment and go on.
what you're not realizing is that we have a specific following and specific roots to our whole thing. We all know recommendations and all that, the For You page.
No, I get that, but at the same time, perfect example. Do you, in our personal opinions, do you think Dad is pro or not pro? Do you think Dad is for trans people? Not to put him out there, but what I'm saying is anything that he has to say is.
I don't
is
think that's pertinent to this conversation.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is Dad on his profile page on TikTok, there's a lot of trans people thing. Why is that?
Because the way TikTok is structured. If something comes up on your For You page that you don't agree with, you're gonna post a comment saying I don't agree with you. They don't give a shit about what you're saying. All they care about is that you
Exactly.
interacted with the product.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter.
So, but that's my point exactly. It doesn't matter who our following is. If someone reacts to it, whether they agree or disagree with us, that is being reacted to, which is going to get out to the mass public.
What you're not understanding is what I'm saying is, if all our hashtags are dealing with conspiracy theories, our channel, all our following or anyone who views it will most likely come from conspiracy theories who believe in similar ideals and goals, or who can sit down and look at it and say it. You're not going based off the general American public, and that's what you're not understanding.
No, I am understanding
No,
that. I
you're
just
not.
I just disagree with you.
That's
Because just because you put a hashtag on it doesn't mean that's the only thing it goes out to.
it's like saying the For You page, and this is what you're not understanding. The For You page
No,
is
you
very
keep
detailed.
saying I'm not understanding. I am understanding what you're saying.
Are
I'm
you?
understanding.
Because it seems like you're
No,
not.
I'm understanding what you're saying. I'm disagreeing with you. Is what you're not understanding. Is
See,
that I'm sitting
but
there.
When you say you disagree, you don't specifically say, "Oh, I disagree."
No,
with this opinion."
There's a difference between understanding and disagreeing. I understand what you're saying.
Then
Completely
explain
and
to me what you
understanding.
disagree about, because you're
I-
not explaining that.
I am. I'm disagreeing with you that it's not only going to be specifically for people who mostly look at conspiracy theories. Because that's not how TikTok, especially TikTok, that's not how the TikTok algorithm works. Nobody knows how the TikTok algorithm works.
No,
I'll give you that.
You can tell how the TikTok algorithm
Yeah, it's
works.
hard to predict it, but there's patterns.
There's patterns. If
But
you
at the
interact
same,
with certain videos,
but at the same time, we're not sitting there. That doesn't go out to people who are, conspiracy theories. Oh, okay. No. It goes out to the general public.
yes, it goes out to the general public, but that general public is limited by algorithm, and that's what I'm trying to say. You're looking at an algorithm, and if people interact, for example,
So how would you conduct this test then?
I would not conduct it as of now, especially with our growth, especially with how our size. It's probably not the best to do it right now because it can't be shared amongst a mass amount of people.
That's true. If you're saying that, if you're going to sit there and go, I'm going to sit there and believe that 90% of the United States believes that 9/11 was an inside job, then you would have to then poll and try to get as much people as possible. And we don't have that big of a presence on the internet to get those kind of results to give you a factual representation of that thought. You're going to get a very limited base, and yes, you are going to get people who are going to be looking at the For You page, scrolling through.
Okay.
You're not going to get a lot of people.
But
from
my
there.
how do you know? You don't. We all can't predict what TikTok.
No, I understand that. Yeah,
TikTok
we're
thinks-
playing the
yeah,
what ifs.
Hold on,
We're
no,
playing the what ifs.
we-
But
we all
sit down and
can't-
play what ifs.
We all can't sit there and predict what video will sit there and go viral or not.
Yes, you're 100% right.
So
but
we could sit there and try out, and if the thing says, 10 million people did this, granted,
I
it's a
underst-
fraction.
Yeah, I understand that part, but we can't play statistics off of what ifs. We can't play a chance game on statistics based on the fact of if this blows up.
Okay,
or
then
not.
I don't want to ever see any type of statistics putting out by anybody then, because I was never asked. I didn't take a survey, and I'm part of that general public. So if you're gonna say 90% Americans don't believe in Biden, I wasn't asked that question, so that bias is false then.
that's why a lot of these places that have the giant views, I'm talking in the millions, they say based on the poll we presented to our viewers. Now, if you want to sit there and say, Joey, if you want to sit there and go, I think 90% of the people that we watch our shows on a daily basis or watch our TikToks, I think 90% of those people think 9/11 is an inside job, then you can put that poll up. But if you're going to sit there and say that the couple thousand people is going to represent the 300 million
Okay,
people of the
okay.
United States,
Let me
those
rephrase
are
then.
completely
I'll
off.
rephrase then. You go look on various social media sites. You go look at how many people believe the story is true and how many people believe the story is false.
I understand there are movements, the 9/11 truth movement, all that shit. I get it.
There
are
is more people, especially according to those hashtags, that follow those type of movements or believe that it was an inside job than the people who believe that it was
I don't know about that.
Rigged.
And I can't argue
not
that.
rigged.
I don't know. I'm not going to argue with you and say you're right or say you're wrong because I don't know. I don't have the data in front of me. I don't have the research in front of me to prove that.
Oh,
Again, you got to make those two things. You got to connect those two things through data, which you don't have either, which is fine.
I
Because
mean, not that I did it myself, but okay, cool.
that's not the point. My point is, you can't make broad statements and base it off of a very small test amount.
That's fine. I wasn't doing that.
Okay,
But we do have to wrap this episode up. It is getting late.
that's true. It is already 11:30.
Everyone done with their comments?
See.
Yes.
Good?
Yeah.
All right. So, again, everybody, we'll see you next week for our season finale, which is going to be Satanic Panic 2.0. Remember, go to Dubby, drink your Dubby, go to dubby.gg, punch the code IsIsRealPC, and get your 10% off all your Dubby products. Please visit our website, greenarmedia.org. Click the Patreon link in there. Subscribe for $1. You get this week now. You get
That's
this
true.
episode now. Next week, like I said, we have Satanic Panic.
Hold on, wait. You didn't say about the $5 pledge, Joey. What
Well, the
happened to
$5 pledge, you get you get everything included in the $1 pledge, which is a week early on episodes. The $3 pledge, which right now might have more shows than anything else.
I'm gonna shit my socks. We have a
Because
$3 pledge. What a
You have
bargain!
$3 pledge, which at this point I think only contains the Cito show and the Mr. West show.
Okay.
And then the $5 pledge, you get the Is This Real True Crime show.
Only worth $3?
Yes, for right now, because there's no episodes.
It's paying for your college.
There's no episodes up right now, so.
I don't care, Wes. You're also worth $3. Actually, you should be on the $5.
But the Israel,
Israel.
the Is This Real
True crime.
True Crime
Israel's True
is
Crime.
on the $5 tier, and that has all the shows from the $3 tier and the week extra or the week opening, and you get a free mug.
There you go.
And right now for the month of June, since it is my birthday month, I'm doing an experimental thing. It is get the $5 tier for a week free. A week free, you get charged after a week, and then we send you your mug. So you get a little taste of what we offer on our Patreon for a free week, just till the end of June.
There you go.
So, but again, go to our Patreon, go to greenhourmedia.org. There's a little link at the top, hit Patreon. Go to greenhourmedia.org. There's a little link at the top, hit Spreadshop, and that's where you get all of our T-shirts.
T-shirts.
Go buy our T-shirts, hats,
T-shirts,
Mugs.
hats,
All
mugs,
this shit.
aprons.
Ladies,
I didn't know we
ladies,
sold
aprons.
aprons.
I'm a slut for Is This Real
Ladies,
Green Hour
there is
pledge.
nothing more sexy than you buying an overlarge T-shirt and just sleeping in it. Because when you sleep with me, you're gonna sleep in one of those Is This Real shirts.
That's right. Now imagine
You
this.
just advertise yourself and her?
See, imagine
We're not
this.
selling you on the greenhourmedia.org page.
Imagine-
Come on, why not?
Hold on.
That's prostitution. That's not legal.
Imagine this
Unless
mug.
we have
In
a
Nevada,
camera.
unless we're in Nevada.
Or we have a camera.
That's true. Imagine this mug, but with my face on it. Don't you want to have your mornings with me?
No, that's a
Or
deterrent.
imagine a mug.
Imagine
with
my dick
Josh
on
as
that mug.
Buddha.
Anywho,
That's
and
a good
please,
that's actually one of
That's
my
right
favorites.
behind you, as a matter of fact.
It's actually one
Get
of my. It's actually one of my favorites.
It really
Please.
It
is.
is.
please go follow our TikTok. Is This Real PC?
Oh, Roblox
See, look, the old Roblox song mug. Go buy one of these.
the great Roblox song.
The great Roblox song, which, okay, and go follow our Is This Real TikTok page. Is This Real PC? What's the hashtag or the handle for Is This Real? The Twitter page is This Real PC also.
Yeah.
Is This Real PC? I believe the Instagram page also is This Real. Go follow all of our fucking social
Go
media.
follow-
Seriously,
All
all
our
the links
social-
are on.
Them
On
motherfuckers are
greenhourmedia.org.
shooting tonight, huh?
What?
Yep.
Okay. And we'll see you guys next week for our season finale,
They're having
which
the
is
best pop. That's what they're having.
Satanic Panic 2.0. We're going to talk
Having
about all the
the best
Satanist
pop.
celebrities that are in the world right now.
I don't associate with him anymore.
No. Okay. We'll catch you guys next week. Thank you for
That
listening.
motherfucker been creeping. I'll tell you
Adios,
that.
motherfuckers.
Good night, everyone.
Oh, Yatsumi.
Good night, everybody.
Remember, everybody, question everything. Good night.
Konnichiwa, bitches. It's Ryu West speaking. If you want to find out more about the Is This Real podcast, follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/isthisrealpc, or on Twitter at isthisrealpc, or on Instagram at isthisrealpodcast, all one word.